Broadcasting live from the mixed-up world of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Bobtastic, and joining me today on commentary is James FNX. How you doing?
Doing great. Love co-op races. Love that we're starting out the league this year with co-op all dungeons in week 1. Really a test of communication as well as execution. So it's something you don't get to see a lot in ladder races or weekly races, and that's what I really appreciate about the league.
The sort of interaction here that you get with your partners and things is pretty great. And yeah, I also really love the fact that they managed to get 3 different weeks into this league where there's multiple players involved in the seed, and they kind of spread it out throughout. So we'll get one this week, we'll get one in week 4, then we'll get one in week 7. So,
yeah, I love all the co-op stuff, especially the spoiler dog races we'll get in week 4. But right now we've got Acktheboker and Kohrek representing the Recitador acronym against Recitador and humbugh for Forfeiters Are Us in their first of 2 back-to-back games. Both of them, I believe, will be live on this.
I don't know exactly which. There's a chance that some of the competitors might get swapped out. Looks like Kohrek and Recitador starting from Link's house, finding some arrows and a bunch of money in Sanctuary today.
Yeah, the big 300. That's a really nice thing to find on your way into Kakariko. You know, even if you don't find any bombs anywhere, you'll be able to buy them. You'll be able to buy off that bottle vendor. Just a lot of peace of mind having that cache of rupees in your first chest.
Now it looks like humbugh with just 300 rupees, and it's going to go for another 225.
Yeah, it makes me believe that they'll want to make an early Zora play. Wouldn't be surprised to see Recitador going south route into Kakariko. Humbugh's going to do South Shore into all of those water checks with a fake flipper.
I didn't quite spot what was on the lumberjack there.
I didn't either, and we may not see it for a while with the routes Forfeiters Are Us are taking. Lumberjack's going to be something that they won't come across.
Our trackers seem to indicate that it might have been arrows, so that's good enough for me.
Bush Crab's being generous today, too, with big 20s, as Acktheboker finds a bottle at the mushroom spot.
All right, so the sick kid will not be an orphaned location today. And while humbugh taking some of those 525 rupees he picked up and acquiring some explosives for the South Shore checks.
Yeah, we'll see if he picks out the bush crab here one screen to the right, and if so, we'll get the rest of the money for Zora if he doesn't find it in one of these locations first.
Odds are there'll be some amount of money in, say, the mini Moldorm cave, but we will see.
You would think so. Bottle vendor just having 20 rupees for 100. Another life lesson in economy.
Yeah, that's basically how economics works, right? You sell something that's worth less for more money, and you make money. It's just generally they don't let you sell straight up currency like that.
Yeah, that doesn't normally work out. Interestingly, we have both Ack and Kohrek in Kakariko, hoping to make it a short trip for both of them as opposed to having one person clear everything out.
Yeah, we've got a mirror on the sick kid, so
that's going to kind of burn Forfeiters Are Us a little bit, because they won't likely not see that bottle until they leave Kakariko.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of teams go for the sort of pincer attack strategy on Kakariko, where both runners will go there because they figure we're both going to go here anyway, and that way we can make the trip significantly faster for whoever, and then we can diverge later.
Right, it's very unlikely that there's going to be nothing in Kakariko, so you might as well send both players there and kind of make it cut a minute or two off both players' trips there. Meanwhile, it didn't look like humbugh found much of anything in Mini Moldorm Cave, and it's still a little bit short of that 500 rupees.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not even enough money to make Zora happen right now. That's ridiculous. But we are gonna go for Ice Rod Cave. Could very well be a thing. And for those of you who were keeping score, we found the blue mail in the well, and we found the moon pearl in Blind's Hut. So those are the kind of important plays there.
Yeah, rough. Without the 500 rupees, humbugh kind of stuck, forced to save and quit and check out another location here instead of continuing on with the fake flipper checks. Will end up paying off a little bit, though. Without the moon pearl, can't check out Waterfall Cave, so maybe Recitador can pick that up later on.
Mm-hmm.
Just some greenies in our tier 1 tree pole.
All right, so most of the ground covered by everyone else here so far, but we'll see Kohrek head possibly some other direction. It looks like Ack and Kohrek are gonna double team the South Shore area, having Ack go over to Agina's cave here.
Yeah, Ack just did Dam, found nothing there, and Kohrek gets to go over the right side and just skip that and do Mini Moldorm, while Ack checks out Desert Ledge and Agina's cave. Just some bombs up there on the ledge.
So it looks like somehow I missed this every single time it was checked, but there's apparently a bow sitting on the library.
It's an awkward spot to leave your bow.
So what happened is Link's uncle caught him shooting a bow when he shouldn't have, and he hit it up on the top shelf where nobody can get it. Oh, hello.
That is like the worst place to have a glove, is over in Agina's cave. It's one of the worst Sphere Zero checks out there, as there's also Quake in Mini Moldorm Cave for Kohrek. humbugh was there as well, so humbugh has that. But yeah, that glove location is real dirty.
But with that, we are going to get to see what's in the back of Escape for Acktheboker. Back of Sazrala's closet has a sword. Back of Escape has a whole lot of jack.
Yeah, one less thing for Kohrek to do. That's the silver lining always in these co-op races. But we'll see how quickly humbugh heads over and goes to grab that sword that Recitador found in Saraslo's closet, as Recitador is going to continue on over to Eastern. Having that bow on library makes this play honestly a bit better, because you never know where those boots are going to be. They could be anywhere. And you're more likely to have to double dip this dungeon.
Right. And so you might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and Ack is going to start collecting red rupees like they're on sale from the rupee crab there.
They're actually, it's just for real estate. As Ack
hello. We got a hammer in the first chest of Eastern Palace.
That's a real good find, and that is Dark World access between all our runners as soon as they all put it together.
For a second there, I thought you said Derp World access. Like,
no, that's when I run.
Sounds about right. At least for me. Anyway.
Yeah, that hammer is going to put
20 is the second item in Eastern, so
a decent chance to have the Eastern Palace you want, where you don't have to go check that vanilla big key chest. And meanwhile, Acktheboker with those 500 rupees is going to make the fake flipper play. Check out Hobo, check out Waterfall Cave, and then check out Zora.
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about having the Moon Probe before you head this direction. You can check out that Waterfall Cave as well. And there's the big key, so if there's an item in the big chest, we can completely avoid the big key chest here in Eastern.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the bottom of our screen, both Kohrek and humbugh are getting our first look at the front of Escape, which just has our small key at the start.
It's just a map in the big chest, so Recitador is going to have to navigate this dark room if he wants to clear out what's here.
Yeah, with the sword, should not be any sort of problem for him.
Yeah, this is generally one of the simpler dark rooms for most players to handle.
humbugh making really good use of this red boomerang to get through Escape with just bombs, whereas Kohrek is having a little bit harder time, just having to carry bombs around and hope for the best.
So Kohrek is up to the fire shield now.
And in that waterfall cave, Acktheboker found the flute locked in behind flippers where we don't know where they're at yet.
All right. Again, flute is super nice for movement purposes and also sometimes required. And in all dungeons, definitely required.
Yeah, one of the nice things about all dungeons is that you only have a couple variables as to what you need to maybe find to complete a seed. There'll be either 1 or 2 medallions, and then maybe the boots or not.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, Recitador found the magic powder in the big key chest of Eastern, so did manage to get all 3 items. And with that hammer, you're going to have access to the magic bat anyway. Now, of course, the magic bat there is not going to be an in logic check because of the dark room situation. I am digging these simultaneous red boomerang dark escape strats here.
Yeah, this room is not the freest, and humbugh, especially at half a heart, gets through it.
But magic.
That's a very good find.
Meanwhile, Acktheboker is gonna activate everyone's favorite swag duck. Hello, swag duck. How's it going? Whack.
Yeah. Yes, the swan is now gone.
Acktheboker plays the song of his people and is going to go check out Eastern Palace. That'll be the first dip for the team. They vetoed our acronym. I'm not even going to speculate on what that acronym would have been.
Me neither, but with that flute information, Ack pushes Kohrek to go, hey, go get this flute and get some good movement around the world. And meanwhile, Recitador went over and got those gloves from Agnes Cave and is the first one of our 4 runners to have actual Dark World access.
Mm-hmm. And Acktheboker will also have actual Dark World access quite shortly.
Yeah, I wonder if he will push through on Eastern and get that powder, or if we'll decide, hey, we know where Bo's at. We've got 1 item out of here. There's a ton of world for me to explore. I can get that done and let Kohrek clean up Eastern later. Looks like Ack is going to push through. check at least one more chest here before leaving.
The only thing I could see him potentially skipping here is that big key chest.
Yeah, and Kohrek gets the alert as well to get over to Eastern as quickly as possible.
He's actually going to head to Eastern first to grab the hammer. I think maybe he'll grab the sword afterward.
Yeah, it's a quick hop out. So this flute paying off dividends really quickly for the Acktheboker acronym. A lot of quick movement will get him a sword and a hammer and Dark World access very soon. Meanwhile, we get a peek at our pendants and crystals over on Recitador's side. It looked like Misery Mire and Skull Woods were pendants. Of course, they'll still need to be done. It is all dungeons, but that does give you some information on what may or may not be in Ganon's Tower.
Right. And of course, what items would lead to, Pyramid Fairy / the green pendant turn in for additional items if necessary. And it does look like Ack is going to go ahead and get that powder.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kohrek just goes and gets the hammer, hops out, and we'll get the sword. And I would suspect would flute over and head to the Dark World from here.
Seems reasonable. Meanwhile, we're getting some Dark World checks over on the right side of our screen. Hype Cave is about to happen.
And Kohrek is giving us our first look at Death Mountain, doing an old man rescue here in the dark.
Holy crap, both rods are sitting there in
an actual hype cave.
Bottle.
Who would have thought an actual hype cave?
I mean, it happens. It does happen from time to time.
Just a little piece of love from the old man. Acktheboker is going to make his way to Hype Cave right now, and we'll get to see those rods here pretty soon. Didn't look like anything for Recitador out of Skull Woods.
Alright, so we're going to get a check on the village. Looks like there's a full heart on the pyramid, which I would not be opposed to picking up at any time.
Yeah, it's six, 7 hearts. These races do end up tending to have a lower health count than other races, just because you don't have to do as many checks on a single screen. So having a heart container out in the open and it isn't too slow to go grab isn't the worst thing in the world.
All right, so it looks like Humbugh is going to go for the catfish play here. This is a kind of an out-of-the-way check that a lot of runners don't like to do unless they have to. But in a co-op situation, it's often pretty advantageous to have one person sort of pick up the out-of-the-way checks and then one person sort of dive dungeons and hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, Kohrek is getting us our first look at Tower Hera. We got a big key in the basement cage. So that lack of a fire rod isn't going to necessarily stop Kohrek from beating the dungeon. There may still be an item locked in that basement, though.
There is one very important thing that Recitador found in the C-shaped house in the village of Outcasts, and that was the flippers.
So that flipper, that pair of flippers is going to lead Forfeiters or us over to that flute pretty soon, I would imagine. Although it is kind of out of the way, and without the aforementioned flute, it's hard to move from side to side in this world. But it will get them on that path soon, I would suspect.
Also, the Ether Medallion, it looks like, found in Thieves Town first chest. So, a couple of items found so far leading toward, well, who knows what, but eventually the end of the seed. It'll happen.
Yeah, and 2 to 3 medallions. Gotta feel good. The medallions are something that can be a real headache in these all dungeon seeds. Just they could literally be just about anywhere, and they're the one variable that you don't necessarily know which ones you need to beat the seed.
I don't believe Recitador has gone mini Moldorm yet, but don't hold me to it.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that either. Quake is in the mini Moldorm area, and I would imagine we'd only go there if he needs it.
All right, Kohrek manages to take down Moldorm, gets the red pendant. And Acktheboker's going to do some magic bat.
This is still fire locked, so or lamp locked specifically. Just a piece of heart, though.
Yeah, not a particularly surprising occurrence, let's put it that way. It looks like Kohrek is going back inside Tower of Hera.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe
he's getting
skip the chest.
bombed.
Oh, he's getting bombs. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, he was out of bombs heading to Hookshot Cave. I mean, not Hookshot Cave, Paradox Cave. Now, there is a shop inside Paradox Cave where you can buy more bombs, but it requires a bomb to get into.
Yeah, that one. That's a cute little shop there. Recitador with the death upstairs. It's that's one of the more dangerous rooms. Those crickets or grasshoppers will deal 1 heart to a blue male character, and only 5 hearts on there for Recitador's side.
Yeah, it's not fun.
You learn very quickly to respect those guys, especially if you do a cross key seed and run into rats in the dark world, which do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then suddenly you run into Thieves Town in the light world, and you go back there and you're scared, and then you hit one that does like a quarter heart, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah. Oh, right. This is free.
And as we were discussing, Kohrek is taking that bomb to the bomb lock shop in Paradox Cave to refill. So the way this works, both teams have 2 runners sharing information, and the time is given by the average time of both players in the game.
There's our second sword in Paradox Cave for Kohrek. Hack got his flippers out of Sea Hut, and we'll now get Ether out of here in Thieves Town. More fresh threads for Kohrek as well as the lamp. Very red Paradox Cave there.
So that gets puts both the powder and the half magic in logic. Although the half magic was in logic with the fire rod.
And on the Forfeiters or Us side, Recitador are finding those Titans mitts up in the attic of Thieves Town after dying there previously.
Well, it's definitely a good thing you decided to go back in. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely.
It looks like Kohrek might be taking that lamp and going back to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, there must be an item downstairs.
Oh, hello. Thieves Town continuing to deliver the goods, this time with the Cane of Samaria in the big chest.
Yeah, Thieves Town has been loaded this seed with 3 unique items. And that Cane of Samaria, once a nice utility item that you need to complete a couple dungeons has kind of become one of the most important items for running these seeds fast in the last year.
It's not busted at all. I don't know what you're talking about. It's
It
very
operates
busted.
completely normally. It's just a normal item. It's fine. Recitador getting a little bit off script here in this fight. He does have that Cane of Samaria if he remembers it to get a couple free hits in if he so chooses.
He's also got a red potion, which is also significantly relevant here. There we go. Blind goes down. Meanwhile, Acktheboker also picking up that wonderful glove. Yeah, actually, both canes work on blind. Both the Cane of Samaria and the Cane of Burna will deal damage to blind.
Yeah, it's quite effective too, because blind doesn't care what you're hitting it with. Blind takes the same amount of damage from every weapon. So Cane of Burna or Cane of Samaria will usually get 2 hits in per shot, and Cane of Burna you can just sit there and ping it with your damage circle.
So we'll only get a ped check in the all dungeon seed if it turns out that there's a reasonable item on the pedestal. It is possible that that there's something you need there, and you need it to do all the pendant dungeons anyway, so it doesn't hurt that bad. The idea behind pedestal seeds in all dungeons is they don't hurt nearly as bad as a pedestal seed in, say, Defeat Ganon or something like that.
Yeah, and interestingly, we do have the ability to beat all of our pendant dungeons right now. We got the Fire Rod for Skull Woods. We got the Cane of Samaria for Misery Mire. We may have 2 of the 3 medallions. We may need a medallion still, but
we do have one minor problem with that, and that's that we can't actually get into Mire. We need the boots or hookshot.
That is true. We do need a boots or hookshot for that. So.
I hate to be the nerd guy. It's like, well, actually.
Yeah, well, actually. No. You're absolutely correct there. Recitador is going to do this magic bat check and turn in the blacksmith here in a moment.
What am I talking about? I love being that nerd guy. What am I? Anyway. All right, so Kohrek will be Kohrek and Humbugh at the same time here in Skull Woods with the Fire Rod. So they'll actually be able to clear this thing out. I did not count items in Skull Woods, so I haven't the foggiest about
there's one in Vanilla Big Key Chest, just the single rupee.
Right.
I don't remember
that, but
I don't remember if there was anything else on the front here.
So Humbugh is coming up on a moth fight that I do not envy, with a fighter's sword as your best sword, so you might have to resort to hammer strats or something like that.
Yeah, fighter sword, no half magic. I guess Humbugh did not actually get the half magic from Dark Cross.
He actually died on the way to Dark Cross.
So Kohrek with a half a magic and a master sword shouldn't be too much of a problem. Still has that red potion as well.
And Humbugh is in fact switching to the hammer here.
There's our bombos and a hammer peg. So that is all 3 medallions. No need to worry about what you need to get into Turok or what you need to get into Misery Mire.
I mean, again, aside from that boots and hookshot situation, but yeah.
Gonna need a hookshot anyways for Swamp, so.
Correct. All right, Humbugh and Kohrek roughly beating it at the same time, and gets the green pendant to take home. Or maybe to take the Sahasrara. I don't know. Do what you want with it.
Meanwhile, Gary's lunch is a full heart container. K45 is not much of
Why
anything.
are you carrying around organs in your lunchbox? Just saying. You could have donated that heart, man. I'm kidding.
Looks like we're still hunting for items as Kohrek is heading into check bridge chest. Gets the big key. So Humbugg's going to check bumper ledge here and go over and check graveyard ledge after that. The boots are on bumper ledge, so we're looking for a cape. Haven't checked out desert yet. Won't get to check out GT for a long time. So don't know if those boots are actually required. We do know there is a bow on the library though, so there's a real good chance we need them boots.
So there's one fashion accessory being locked by another. Like you do. You definitely need the cape to get to that. Recitador will now be picking up both the fire and ice rods in Hype Cave.
And Axe about to get his Master Sword in Paradox Cave here. And some more fresh threads in the lamp.
Well, I mean, we know where a bow is. It's on the library, but again, also Eastern Palace is, we've actually found all 3 items in Eastern.
Yeah, that one's cleared out. Wouldn't surprise.
Still be bow locked in pod.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me at this point to see Cape and Pod. We're don't have a ton of things right now. Ice Palace is open. Turtle Rock is open.
Yeah. It's actually kind of gross.
I think Axe going to make this early Turtle Rock dive right now. There's not a lot. There's Super Bunny up here to check. Can't really do anything in Hookshot Cave without Boots or the Hookshot. So Turtle Rock is the reason to be up here, and Acktheboker has everything he needs to beat this dungeon.
Everything you need. Definitely not everything you want, I would say.
Oh, for sure. I would much prefer to have a tempered sword and like 3 or 4 more hearts.
All right, and Recitador finally finds the flute for Forfeiters R Us. Also, we get to see that the Light World Fairy here is handing out blue potions for free. Yes, please.
Big fan of blue potions for $0. Thankfully for Forfeiters R Us, though, this flute hasn't really led to a lot as of yet. So there's a little bit of routing time that may have been lost, but not nothing item-wise that has really cost them so far.
Meanwhile, Acktheboker just pulled off the hardest trick in the game, which is remembering you don't have the hookshot in that room in Turtle Rock.
We got Kohrek and Humbugh getting all the goodies in Thieves Town. Ack is making his way through Turtle Rock, just a map in the first and the compass chest. And Recitador is going to turn that flute in. Might see a dip into the mire area and a look at desert. or a trip up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Again, they know where all the medallions are, so they don't need to know exactly where the Misery Mire, or which medallion is required for Misery Mire. But Recitador is probably thinking about, well, if I go to Mire, I might not be able to get in because of the hookshot and boot situation, especially given knowledge of where the boots are.
Yeah, I'm not sure Forfeiters Rose has looked at the ledge yet, though. So, but it looks like Recitador is going to head over to Turtle Rock as well. But yeah, without boots, the desert area, they've already checked Desert Ledge, they've already checked Agnes Cave. It's only the 2 items from Mire Shed, the item from Checkerboard Cave, and maybe an item or 2 out of Desert. So not a high density location right now.
Now, talk about your delayed gratification here. Acktheboker has found the mushroom in the vanilla big key chest of Turtle Rock, which, you'd prefer to not have to check, but now you don't know if you need to check it or not.
That's a thing of beauty right there.
At least you don't have someone following right behind you, like, do I need to check it or not? I don't know. I don't know why Acktheboker all of a sudden became an old man in my voice, but there you go. I don't know.
While Ack makes his way through here, we'll do a quick reset. We know where the boots are at. They are on Bumper Ledge. We know where a bow's at. It's a library. So a cape will be leading our runners to go mode at this point, along with the hook shot. Those are the 2 items that are kind of linchpins here.
Now, of course, we could end up in one of those situations where the hook shot is like in Ganon's Tower. Wait, no, it can't. I'm an idiot.
That's gonna be hard for that one.
Idiot. I don't know how to words or nothing.
Now I get to be the actually guy.
See? Yeah. I don't know what I was braining there. Anyway, yeah, definitely need the hookshot to beat Swamp Palace, which is required to get into Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, so at this point, our runners know that there's going to be nothing blocking dungeons that's going to be in Ganon's Tower. As you're going to need that hookshot to get through Swamp, and that'll get you access into Mire. The other 2 pendant dungeons are already in the books.
Alright, Ack once again on Laser Bridge. There's that hookshot we were just talking about.
It's a real nice find for Acktheboker there. Needs to make sure not to die here.
And he's making that look like it's actually easy.
Yeah, a little trouble with that first laser skip, but the rest of them were very, very clean. And now it's they have the information. They are just looking for a cape.
Now, interestingly enough, Humbugh here is making the dip into Ice Palace, which is a play I had not expected, but certainly is valid.
I like it. It's a pretty quick dungeon. I might think about just using bombos to clear this room out instead of bombs, but making really quick work with the bomb strat, getting 5 of them down very quickly. And there's the last one.
I love how we can now refer to Ice Palace as a pretty quick dungeon.
I feel so good.
I mean, it's not as quick if you don't have the Cane of Samaria. But if you do, it's pretty sickeningly quick nowadays.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't make the Ice Palace play if I don't have King of Samaria here. We found in Myershed, we found the book.
Yeah, so Kohrek has that. We can also see that Desert is not boots locked. So we may be in a situation where the cape is not available, and we just have the other bow available somewhere.
We shall see about that. Acktheboker did a very good Trinex fight on Master Sword. Not many problems at all.
Recitador has picked up the shovel in Super Bunny Cave here.
Yeah, Ack will be grabbing that shortly, and Recitador is going to make his way into Churrock.
And Ack can, of course, also get all of the items in Hookshot Cave, which without the hookshot, kind of difficult to access. Or the boots for bonking / ridiculous hovering purposes.
There's the cape. So that is no mode for Team. They vetoed our acronym. They know where those boots are at. They know there's a bow. So now it's just a matter of how confident you feel on a Master Sword Silverless Ganon with 8 hearts.
If I know anything about Acktheboker, the answer is extremely confident. And as we can see, he's just beelining it for that bow, or for those boots, and then going to beeline it for the bow.
Absolutely. We'll see how quickly, on Forfeiters or outside, how quickly Recitador turns that cape in. They do not, I don't believe they've checked Bumper Ledge as of yet.
And, way Kohrek's doing things, I imagine he's going to do something similar here. He'll probably have to go straight through Turtle Rock just like Acktheboker did, just to get the hook shot, of course.
Yeah, I would suspect that Kohrek delays this just enough for Ack to check that mushroom out and see if there's like a sword or silvers at Witch Hut.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good call.
If there's not, you can just skip that lava chest and save a key. Do still need to go on Laser Bridge for the hook shot, but don't want to have to check more than you have to down there.
Though, I mean, Acktheboker might just be like, who cares? We'll see. Interestingly enough, Acktheboker is going to go ahead and check these bonk locations, or at least bonk rocks here.
Yep, now going to go get his bow. I would have checked mushroom there, but that's why I'm on the sidelines and not running these races. Literacy brings us some lag in the form of the mirror shield.
All right, so we see Recitador also going for that mushroom, so he will be picking up the hook shot at the end of this dungeon. And Ack's just going to start clearing stuff out, so looking like a pod play.
Yep, we are off to the races for Acktheboker.
Very interesting that there was not an earlier pod dip for anybody here. I know a lot of people will dip pod early just because there's generally, 5 items in pod, but not today.
I think without boots and with knowing that a bow is boots locked, and especially on the acronym side where they knew where the boots were at, there just didn't seem to be enough value to make that pod play, and there were enough breadcrumbs to take him other places.
It does sound about right. a completely unsurprising small key in the first chest of pod. One thing you do get in Palace of Darkness is that big key. That's the important one. And there's the silver arrows! Are you kidding me right now, Gabe?
Bow locked in pod as intended. Or not even bow locked. There was a key in the first chest, so they've been out there the whole time. All right, I can't imagine Ack will. I imagine Ack is just telling Kohrek right now, don't even worry about the mushroom. We know where the silvers are at. Don't bother.
I reacted so strongly to that, my headphone cable fell out.
Fantastic.
Oh, boy.
Just need another sword and pod and we'll be good to go, right? Just
basically.
Load them out. No big key in the front, unfortunately, so Axe is going to have to go to the back and check out what's going on back there, try to find that big key.
Now, strangely enough, that does mean that you didn't necessarily need the boots.
Yeah, that's correct. You did not need those keys. Yeah. You definitely could have beat this seed without that cape and those boots. Unless
there is
the big keys on Torch.
Yeah. I kind of
the old 1 in 20.
Just because.
I mean, it's not going to be relevant because we know the cape is within very easy reaching distance of our runners here. Recitador taking the backup door.
Yeah, you didn't need the book because the other bow was here in.
Yeah, there was a bow that was accessible without the first bow in pod, so it
didn't need the library. Sorry.
Yeah, it didn't need to hop the library and grab that bow, but hard to blame him for doing it. Ack gets a big key, realizes he doesn't need to go to Dark Maze, and just needs to get across this bridge now. Just a few beetle friends bugging him.
Yeah, and with silver arrows, I wouldn't be nearly as
oh yeah, so silver arrows in a red pot. This I can't imagine them making any extraneous checks at this point.
I mean, I would check like 1 or 2 if it was on the way.
Yeah,
for example,
like
when I'm in swamp, I'd probably check the 2 flooded chests because I'm going to be right next to them anyway.
Yeah, you can check the 2 flooded chests and waterfall chest, and but past that, I can't really imagine anything that's going to be something you want to grab out of reach at this point. Recitador did take a death doing these bootsless laser skips. Did get it done though. Gets a hook shot, and will make his way on to try next fight.
And speaking of try next fight, Kohrek is also going to be doing something quite similar here.
Yeah, having that mirror shield though means we don't have to worry at all about the laser skips. It looks like by the key count that Kohrek did end up grabbing that mushroom.
Yeah, I believe so.
It is a little bit of time loss, but I don't hate grabbing it. It does allow you to potentially fake powder and gain a star.
I would definitely give the advantage right now to team they vetoed our acronym, Acktheboker and Kohrek, considering they have the complete knowledge of everything in the seed.
Yeah, Recitador and humbugh still need to stop over and check out Bumper Ledge and see that the boots are there. They don't need it because they could also just go to pod and find their bow there. but I'm sure they prefer to have the boots, and there's still that 1 in 22 chance that Big Key and Ganon's tower's on that torch. But for right now, this is definitely the Vidor acronym's race to lose. Kohrek getting through the Trinex fight as well. Recitador is about to pick up the cape for Forfeiters Rust. And Acktheboker is going to pick up this crystal and nothing else in Eastern Palace. We know that it's got just a dungeon item on Narmos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and fortunately for Kohrek, he... I mean, he's still going to get the boots very quickly, but may actually just skip out on the library bow for a brief while. You're close while you're over there. I guess you do grab it. There's no reason to ever be over in that area again in the game.
All right, Acktheboker putting on some little bit of percussion to go with the music there, and then some silver arrows to the face.
Yeah, don't blink or you'll lose that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Kohrek off to go get his boots. Acktheboker off to clear some more dungeons.
In this case, looks like Mire and Desert. And we're getting some frozen bird. But that's all we're getting with the frozen bird. Ack realizes, it's a race.
Yeah, no time to meme. Recitador getting bullied by Moldorm on the right-hand side.
I've never seen fire rod strats used in Mire 2, but that's interesting.
That's the typical backup. You usually have sword beams and then picking up the right-hand whiz robes with the fire rod shots.
All right.
Chat asking about our sword situation. These are the only 2 swords we know about.
Yeah, we have no idea about additional swords. We did find 1 item here in Misery Mire for Acktheboker. We did see Kohrek go ahead and grab the bow out of the library, so probably going to end up with silvers as well. I mean,
yeah, no reason not to.
Why wouldn't you get the silver arrows while you're in pod,
Yeah, they're that close, and both of them are very quick to grab. So,
I mean, especially since you've still got like Vitreous to do, who is much better with silvers.
Yeah, if Kohrek still had Skullwoods and Thievestown to do, you might be a case for coming back and grabbing that second bow at a later time. But with those already done, there's no reason to ever be in the Village Outcast area or Kakariko ever again, so might as well go grab them. Acktheboker lucking out. Our big key from Misery Mire is in the spike chest, so 2 and done. And we're going to get a little spooky, but I don't think you need to get spooky. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way it can be any better is if the big key is on that first bridge and you also can hover across. Which I believe Acktheboker can actually do. So,
Or you just decide to believe and hookshot over to it anyways. Part of the cards.
Seems good. And of course, just a few
or your
silver arrows.
In the dungeon, it's there, and then you just hookshot over and.
Just a few silver arrows takes down Vitreous without much issue at all.
Yep, Kohrek going and grabbing those silver arrows. Has to head to the back of the dungeon anyways, so no reason not to grab them.
Exactly.
And Recitador does check out Bumper Ledge, does get the boots. He's going to grab the bow here, and I assume he's going to head over to Pod. So at this point, we are in go mode on both sides. And just an execution race to the finish now.
So our bows were in the library, which everybody knew about, and therefore it kept them away from Pod, where there was just a bow lying there, not even bow locked.
Desert with the worst possible key layout for our runners.
Good old-fashioned vanilla big key.
Kohrek is having quite a day here trying to get through the mosh pit. Does finally get the pegs where he wants them to.
Now, Recitador will be checking out Palace of Darkness, find those silver arrows as well. Make things a little less painful for the rest of this seed.
Interesting choosing to do right side first. Not really any big difference between the two, but I'm about picking up his hook shot, and we'll head on to try next fight. It's going to be a spicy one too, with 2.5 hearts.
Yikes. So we have a question in chat. Do we think the forfeiters will forfeit when their opponent's finish? And I'm like, well, if they live up to their name, but no guarantees on that one. There's nothing that requires them to do that.
There, though, we did have last locationers in a race earlier today, nearly last location progression, so some teams are willing to live up to their names.
All right, Acktheboker in Ice Palace did go ahead and pick up a chest there. Again, looking for potential sword gain.
Yeah, that's one that I probably wouldn't pick up myself at this point, but 9 hearts, 10 hearts, Master Sword can't hurt that much.
Acktheboker having a little interesting time, we'll say, with the icebreaker clip, but looks like there we go. Got it done.
Yeah, what's a little tricky to do bufferless, trying to do it fast instead of reliably, and gets punished a little bit on that first attempt.
So yeah, Acktheboker again. Well, this time just picking up that block for the key.
Yeah, I hit the switch, so pegs are where they want to be for going into the basement.
And interestingly enough, Acktheboker opened up every single chest with an item in it. Got a piece of heart, bombs, and 5 rupees.
Bit fortunate there. I know he's opening. That's why he opened the first chest. He was looking for a small key, so he didn't have to lift up the rock.
Yeah. And I mean, the one you hookshot to, I mean, you're literally right next to it.
Right.
Right.
That's like the swamp flooded chest. You're right there where you're not going to grab him. Our friends at the Witch Hut have made a lot of rupees this seed. I've seen several runners going by blue potions during this race.
Oh yeah, there's nothing at all wrong with being adequately prepared for your dungeons. Even if you're confident on low hearts with low health, there's nothing wrong with backing that up.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling than dying on a fight where if you had a potion, you would have lived and you have easy access to that magic shop.
Crossing the 1 hour mark here, I want to shout out our lovely trackers here, who are Yoinker's wife and Words, Ricky of Kikiri, for keeping up with things as we're going. And of course, I want to shout out the runners here who, probably should get a follow from anybody who enjoys this, and anybody who doesn't enjoy it, and anybody's grandma. Just get everybody following these people.
Yeah, get your grandma signed up for Twitch and give these runners a follow. So Acktheboker is going to give us our first look at Swamp Palace. We won't see much of it because not a lot needs to be done here.
The Swamp Go mode is real, folks.
Also, I don't know if we've mentioned it, but Acktheboker showing off Quick Swap, one of our new in-race features for Season 3.
Acktheboker is kind of one of the poster children for Quick Swap. Huge fan of it, and can really put it to good use. I will say it is something that takes some getting used to, but once you do, it is a vast improvement on your life.
Oh yeah, I am still getting used to Quick Swap. I've not been using it up until this new season of the ladder, and every time I'm in a menu and have to go one spot away because I forget I have Quick Swap on, I just feel really bad.
Looks like we have a technical grandma in the audience, the best kind of grandma. And as expected, Ack did go ahead and check these 2 flooded chests. I mean, aside from that heart, nothing really important.
Yeah, you're gonna do these checks that cost you like actual 0 time. This chest here, another heart container. So if you weren't comfortable at 9 hearts, you've got to be a lot more comfortable at 11. With red mail, that is an extra Ganon hit at the very least.
Or at least from the bats. Ganon hug doesn't make a difference, but
yeah, Ganon does have some strong hugs.
Don't let Ganon hug you. Despite your current lack of social contact with people, it's not worth it.
It's time for one of my least favorite fights, Master Sword Argus. Topped only by Fighter Sword Argus.
Yeah. In both of those scenarios, what I like to do is charge a spin and then get 2 puffs at once. Because Fighter Sword, if you do that with Fighter Sword, you can get 2 puffs at once because it'll spin it twice.
Yep.
But with Fighter Sword Argus, you actually do have to use spins because you can't damage the puffs otherwise.
Yeah, your only options are spin attacks or the menu boss. Switching back and forth from hammer and hookshot.
Mm-hmm. And the good news is you'll have the hammer at the very least in most seats, unless you're doing like boss shuffle, right?
Right. But that quick swap not helping you a lot in that menu boss, because those are about usually between like 6 and 10 items away from each other.
Yeah. All right, so Humbugh is doing what I was talking about there.
Yeah, picking up 2 puffs at once and getting them with a spin. It's not the easiest strategy to do. Once you learn it, it does make this fight a lot more tolerable. Red mail helps too. Argus does a surprisingly lot of damage. Those puffs on green mail do 2 hearts of damage to you.
We haven't the foggiest where any swords are. Humbugh with some ice rod strats here on Argus. Very interesting.
Yeah, I've seen runners use both the fire rod and ice rod there. Some of them say that the ice rod is a little bit more consistent in terms of how long it takes to reach Argus.
Fair enough.
Actually, having that little slowdown at the start of the ice rod projectile helps him out. Kohrek with a very nice caster strat fight against Colster. That half magic paying off dividends.
All right, Acktheboker entering the moth fight and has just this left before the trip up the mountain. Still has Tower of Hera to finish up on the mountain, but that'll be pretty trivial.
Yeah, with Harapot and boots, it's going to be less than a minute to get up there and clear out Moldorm, unless Moldorm wants to not cooperate.
You can see the main trick to using quick swap is it's not like knowing specifically how many hits it would take to get to the item you're looking for. It's really to just be thinking ahead and know that you need to be switching your item to what's next. And you can see Acktheboker switching in the middle of the end of that moth fight, trying to get to the mirror, and almost got there.
Yeah, and just a matter of not like pre-activating your mirror before getting the boss item like I've never done with quick swap. That's just never happened.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad time.
If it happened to me, it was a terrible time, but thankfully it never has.
I believe you. Um, all right.
Recitador getting the good news of an early Misery Mire Big Key.
Yep. And we did see Humbugh also went ahead and grabbed those silver arrows. There's really no reason not to.
Yeah, that's just on the way, and it's all free. So at this point, Acktheboker just has Tower Hera. Kohrek is in his final dungeon, so they will both be in Ganon's Tower very shortly. Meanwhile, the forfeiters are us side. Recitador is in dungeon number 6, and humbugh is in his 8th dungeon.
So I was wondering why Acktheboker decided to go this way up the mountain, because it's well known to be a little slower. But he hadn't checked Super Bunny Cave, so I guess he was thinking, I could get sword that way.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't get paid off for it though, but very nice hook shot to dodge both those flames from the Lynels.
Now, it's clear to me that Ack does remember that he needs to beat Hera. But he's going to go ahead and open GT first. Oh, that's an interesting slowdown on the music there due to the mirror.
Yeah, I think the old card is doing a lot, true to the blinking of Ganon's Tower and things like that. So.
Oh, okay. Doing a pause buffered spin speed Herapod. That kind of makes sense to me. Like, I've never been able to do it unpause buffered, like, not consistently. But, if you know what pixel you're looking for, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I've not figured out the spin speed Herapod strats yet.
Right.
But
so with that, it's about that time. We should try to get what the big key game is. Whatever you think the big key is, there are 22 locations where it can be. Get your numbers in from 1 to 22, and you too could be on the leaderboard here.
Yeah, go and get those valuable internet points.
I'm gonna stop it like when Ack goes to the next room.
Should probably just stop it right now. 10-pack, Ack's gonna grab those. Really smart. Had a really low arrow count going in here, and just a quick grab on those.
All right, and Ack is gonna go ahead and head left the whole way. Meanwhile, Kohrek just finishing up Swamp. That's going to do it for all of Kohrek's dungeons as well. Ack finds a single key in the Stalfos room and decides to head right now.
Yep, doing the Dark Magician route. Gets key out of 2 keys out of Hope room.
Well then.
It's faster to get to Ice Armos going the right-hand way, with enough time difference between Ack and Kohrek here getting into Ganon's Tower. You at least get information, and if it's in one of those 2 early rooms, you don't have to dig too deep. Kohrek's going to either head in and go full left if Ack doesn't find the big key here in Compass Room, or head right if you know it's there. The only way this becomes a problem is if it's in Tile Room, but if it's in Tile Room, it's always a problem.
That is true. Oh, Tempered Sword. Hello. 50 rupees. Bombs and more bombs. Interesting enough, Ack leaving and deciding to go left. That it's probably a good idea because could be in rando room and you don't want to just like go all the way to Ice Armos and then have to go to rando room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense. Also, the bridge room is kind of a pain without a lot of mana magic to either cape or Keen Burner through. It's not impossible, but it's probably more effort than they want to put in right now.
Now, if I were Kohrek, yeah, I was going to say I'd probably go right here and just, like, grab that sword and get out.
Yeah.
Or maybe keep going based on, like, what Ack finds in Rando Room.
Yeah, for the item count, I believe this is number 13.
Yeah, 13, I believe, is correct. Piece of heart, 10 arrows, map, and heart. So yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, Kohrek is just going to go full right, especially with half magic.
So we are up to 17. And Ack's going to
and
go to Bob's chest for 18.
Is there any world where you have Kohrek do Tower Room when he goes in?
I mean, if the discrepancy had been a little higher, maybe.
And number 21. Number 21, big key in our last and on Tower Room location.
Congratulations to Momomo. For a beautiful guess of 21.
Yeah, enjoy those internet points. I'm going to watch Acktheboker make quick work of this gauntlet, I'm pretty sure.
Oof. Yeah, got plenty of health, so no real reason to grab fairies or anything like that.
Yeah, don't need the fairy room. Not so much health where you can just bump yourself off and dash through that bridge, but plenty to not have to worry about taking the safety room.
Could have used potentially a little magic, but I don't even know what kind of potion situation Ack is sitting on.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't remember if Ack ever went to Witch Hut or not. I think Kohrek has a blue. Ack may still have a red from earlier. But with Lamp, this should be plenty of magic to at least get to the full pot before Torch Room.
Oh, Ack has a blue. Just saw it.
Right. No worries at all then. And if you're excited about all this high-level execution from Acktheboker in this Ganon Tower climb, well, we're going to lower your expectations with Aghanim's Tower here in a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah. You're about to see way more reflected projectiles than you ever wanted to see ever. Oof, Kohrek takes a fall on the torch room, but luckily does have the half magic, so not hurting for magic like Ack might have been.
Yeah, that would have been a definite problem for Acktheboker. I would have had to crack that blue pot if he had taken a fall there. But half magic makes this a much easier time for Kohrek. Can't even get away with the seeding RNG excuse either. The RNG is already seeded.
Ooh. Second shot getting away from him there. And then that looked like 2 hits, but only 1 counted. Agatu just not cooperating today.
Yeah, thankfully, Ack has pretty much all the time in the world to get this fight done. Does get it done in 5 cycles, it looked like. Not the most cooperative Agatu in terms of lining up doubles and triples, though. Ack making the climb in the honorary dungeon, Aghanim's Tower.
Yeah. I'm gonna start the petition to remove this from the all dungeons goal.
I will co-sign.
Yeah, it is. As it stands, it is necessary for the game. It's sort of based on the fact that in the all dungeons category of, say, of the original run, you have to do this.
Yeah, meanwhile, humbugh is into Gan's Tower. Did do full right side up to Compass Room and is now gonna go get that big key at the end of this run. Recitador making his way through ice. But all focus is on the Acktheboker acronym, the commanding lead in this area of the race. And just as a reminder, after this race at 7:10 Eastern, Game 2 in this set, we're right here on SpeedGaming 2.
Just just a little bit afterwards. I don't know if we'll even get time for an interview with these runners or not. They may want to gear up for the next race, but we will see.
See at least one member of both of these teams. We don't know who's going to be running that race yet for these teams, whether they're going to stick with these lineups or switch in someone else.
But we do know that this is going to, at least for Acktheboker and Kohrek, be over pretty soon, I would guess.
Yeah, how soon that is going to be up to this guy in a hood with 2 faces and blue balls. Although so far he has no blue balls.
There's one.
There's that commentator curse. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I thought for the longest time that Aghanim's hood was actually his face, especially if he's facing like left or right.
Yeah, I think I've heard you say that before, once. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since I considered it, so yeah, definitely be a thing.
Very cooperative Agnum, though.
All right, Acktheboker into the Ganon fight with the Tempered Sword, Silver Arrows, getting the 1-in-1 cycle. No problems here. Look at those dash strats. They make me sick. I mean,
So good. So good. It's just high level NMG execution here. Kohrek hopping in on the fight too, and he's going to bust out this NMG execution as well. Not going with the dash strats. It's going to just tuck in. There we go. Now getting in for the dashes. Just really well done.
it looked like to me that he didn't quite get the double spin on the first part, so he had to improvise, but he got there.
Yeah. And blink and you miss it. Acktheboker has stuck the pit with 4 silver arrows and is going to cross this bridge and finish off this race for himself. Kohrek right behind, and we'll have both of the Vidor acronyms runners being done here in just a brief little bit. Get those GGs in chat for Acktheboker as he crosses the finish line first with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 16 seconds.
Well done.
And Kohrek right behind with a triple to start off the Ganon fight, and then getting it taken care of, finishing things off. And we're joined right now by Acktheboker. Great race for your team. Congratulations.
Yeah, GG guys. Just wanted to come in and say thank you for commentary, tracking, all that. We are doing a double header, so I don't know how long I'll be able to stay in chat, but just wanted to say I very much appreciate it. And I also couldn't miss a chance to say hello to my best friend, Dr. Bob.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
When can I join the PogChamp? No, I'm missing
When? Right now.
Okay.
All right.
I'm messing with you. I'm not good enough for that. Anyway. And Kohrek's here too. So hi.
Hi.
And congratulations on this race.
Thank you.
So are you both going to be running the next one, or have you decided to swap someone out?
Now we're running.
Yeah.
Right,
I tried to get a ruling. I was wondering if P-Flan could maybe come in and play for me, but I think if we switch out a team member, he has to stay for the whole time, so
okay.
I guess I'll play.
Well, fair enough. All right, because I know that the words on the comments on the sign up said that the team members may vary, so it's just verifying.
Oh, that's right.
One way or the other. All
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, GG's it was a very interesting seat. Everything basically just fell in my lap once we hit Dark World Access. I couldn't make a wrong choice. It worked out.
All right. Yeah, it was very. It was basically just handed to you the way you went in. Like the only thing you could have done was put off Turtle Rock, and you didn't. So there you go.
Yeah, you're right. And then not do Bumper Cave, but my partner had my back, so.
Yeah, that was the issue for your opponents, is they didn't know about Bumper Cave for the longest time.
Yeah. Sucks.
Though, interestingly enough, they did not get the bow that was available in Pod either. So.
Yeah, well, I mean,
not,
that's good.
Not to start
so you
with.
didn't have to beat the whole game without the boots.
Yeah. It's just a little bit silly that they weren't technically required, but I mean, who's gonna willingly do that to themselves, right?
Right. We can just make boots required every seed by giving them to you at the very start of the game. That's the easiest way to do it.
I mean, that's the way the a lot of the ladder races are going nowadays. That's for sure.
And look how that's doing, dude. It's popping off.
Yeah.
I think Big Dunka got a contract by Nike just the other day. Like the ladder is just taking off. So
And just climb it.
Good to me.
just climb it, yeah.
Entertaining run, very honestly a pretty straightforward seed for you guys. It did non-stop action from you, and good luck to you guys in game 2 as we coming up in just half an hour or so.
Yeah, we'll definitely, if you need to take off, we'll definitely let you go. And good luck on the next race. And I'll probably stick around, maybe. To look around. I won't be running the commentary this time. It'll be Fear and Clearmouse joining there. What's this about Fear not liking cross keys?
I mean, it's not that he doesn't like it. I think my file name specifically said that he hates it.
Okay.
I don't know. You have to ask Fear about that one.
What kind of self-respecting rando connoisseur doesn't like cross keys?
That's a lot of questions that, the community probably needs answers to, but only Fear can be the one to answer that. So.
And he can't hate it that much. He put it in his league.
Did he?
I mean, last time he did.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Yeah, I forgot last season. Yeah, of course.
But he took it out this
He
time.
didn't take it out for this year, but
Yeah.
maybe he's been scarred so much that he just no more.
I'm just gonna pray I get it during Mystery Week. That's all I'm saying.
Aren't we all? And you know who else I hope gets it Mystery Week? I hope Fear gets it too, because we know how much he hates it. Jokes aside, Fear's awesome. Please don't kick me out of the league, Fear. It was just a joke.
The cross keys thing. A lot of us runners really like cross keys, but from an audience standpoint, it might be a little lacking. I would say. You know what I mean?
Why?
It's a little bit confusing.
They generally take longer, so therefore they get more rando to watch. I don't see where they could have any argument where it's not better.
True enough. Truer words have never been said.
There's plenty more awful situations that can happen, so they could just sit there with their tinfoil hats and meme about all the bad things that could happen. I think cross keys is perfect for Twitch chat.
Oh, so that's why they rejected your acronym.
I don't see what was wrong with it.
I mean, other than pronunciability, yeah.
Well, it's an acronym. Acronyms are not supposed to be, we're just trying to get a very long message condensed, and we had a lot to say.
All right. Well, that is definitely a thing.
The only bad thing is whatever P-Flan just said, he's 100% right, actually. That was the initial one. But, whatever.
I love it.
But yeah, thanks again, guys. Very appreciated. We'll see you for the next one.
All right.
You're welcome.
Good luck
Thanks for...
every bit.
All right, we got what can you say after that? Really, just a pillar of the community, Acktheboker. We got humbugh in the Ganon fight. We got Recitador and Aghanim 2. They're gonna be finishing up in a couple of minutes here, and then by that time they'll be getting ready to get back in the chamber for game 2 of this set. We'll be right here again with Fear and Clearmouse in the booth. Bob, what did you think about the race today?
I had a wonderful time. I don't know about you.
No, it's a lot of fun and a lot of action, and really showed off how some decisions in co-op pay off. knowing where those
Yeah.
boots are at really helped
It's
out
really-
the Acktheboker acronym.
It's really all about gathering as much information as you can with the resources you have. So making sure to get that information about the ledge, making sure to see where everything is, making sure you get a nice coverage of checks between the two of you so that you're not covering each other's tracks the whole time, that sort of thing.
Yeah, let's get those GGs in chat for humbugh, getting through this one, checking in. I don't know if we ever gave the official time for Kohrek at 1 hour, 25 minutes and 59 seconds. humbugh checking in at 1 hour, 33 minutes and 53 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is, I've called a couple races today, and they both have come down to hidden information for one team, punishing them in the end. Also on bumper ledge in that race as well, but I think some teams are gonna have nightmares about some of these out of the way locations, bumper ledge, Agnes Cave, a lot of nasty places you just don't want to go to in Rando that co-op can make a little bit easier for you.
All right. Yeah, so I'm wondering if, maybe, just maybe, we might want to see if Recitador wants to join us a little before he finishes on stream. That way, if they want to get in for an interview, they can, and otherwise we can let them prepare. Just because it's a double header, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll see if humbugh and Recitador want to join us for a quick interview before race number 2, or if they just want to get ready for that race. Should be starting for them in about 15 minutes. It'll be starting for us here on SpeedGaming 2 at 7:10 Eastern.
All right, so we've got Recitador coming up on the AGA 1 fight. This will be the last arbitrary dungeon clear before the final Ganon fight, and then some tempered sword action.
Yeah, it looks like we do have humbugh about to join us here in the booth.
And I went ahead and invited Recitador in case he wants to join. A little bit before it's done on stream. That's all right.
humbugh, GG's on the race. A little bit unfortunate with the boots location for you.
Yeah, thanks. The boot location was fine. It was a cape location that sucked.
Yeah.
Right.
But I still feel like the boots weren't the problem here. It was the flute and me being a bad router and going up to Zora without being able to fake flipper. That felt like suboptimal.
Ack and Kohrek had flute for about 15 or 20 minutes before you guys did, and it didn't feel like it cost that much in terms of there weren't any items in Meyer area that you needed for the race or anything, but just the ease of movement between locations is really where they picked up some time on you.
Exactly. And especially having to go a bit of back and forth, at least for me, to Death Mountain. That would have saved some time. It wouldn't have made up the difference. But it would have saved some time at least.
And
but the scene was fun.
Recitador as well, coming in sort of as your Ganon fight's happening here, but wanted to make sure you guys had time to get ready for the next race coming up.
Yeah. Well, we were in GT before the finishes, so we're calling it a victory.
Sounds good.
It's Ack and Kohrek, so.
Yeah, there are no easy games in the Invitational League. That is for sure.
Definitely what you would call formidable opponents.
Yeah, I had my tombstone ordered in advance.
Where's the so we noticed that the next match said that the runners might vary. Are you two both running the next one, or is?
Yeah, I think that was a joke on Ack's side, probably. I don't know.
Okay.
Ack doesn't make jokes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
Yeah, he is a pretty serious guy. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, we're the main co-op team of our team, so or co-op pair.
sounds good.
Yeah, you'll definitely find some way to weave in your third team member. With 3 different co-op weeks this season.
Well, there's always the spoiler key sanity piloting.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, first we have to get ready for race 2.
And GG, you got the 1:39:40.
Yeah,
official time there.
I was a little distracted at the end since everybody was finished, and I was just kind of like, I really wasn't giving it my all. But we did, other than the flute, I don't think we did too bad on the on getting things. I mean, Turtle Rock was calling our name pretty hard, so
Yeah, Turtle Rock. You did kind of have to go in there with, less safety than I would have been particularly comfortable with, but it wasn't that bad.
Oh yeah, I hope everybody sincerely enjoyed my laser skips.
And that's what the safety door is for, right?
Yeah. I am no good at laser skips at all, so I like to enlist my friend the Beetle to give me a little boost.
Fair enough. They were talking about doing cross keys for game 2 before this. I don't know if the admins would like that too much though.
We were considering just not asking, but I don't know. I guess
Just not asking. Like ask for forgiveness, not for permission, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're
all in on it.
I would accept negative points for all parties involved if we just were allowed to do that.
Oh boy. All right, so once again, you guys have another match coming up in just a few minutes, so I'm going to let you guys go, but good job finishing the seed, and good luck in the next match.
Thanks. See ya.
And so stick around if you want to see the remainder of this match from Kohrek, Recitador, and Humbugh for yet another co-op info share all dungeons race right here on Speed Gaming 2. Also coming up at the same time over on Speed Gaming 3, we're going to have the race between Willard J. Bradley and Brewers fan JP versus Locke and Fantalis. That's game 2 of that series. And I'm actually going to be commentating that one. So if you stick around here, that's great. If you come join me on Speed Gaming 3, I'm happy with it either way. I want to shout out all the runners again. Thanks for a great job. And our trackers, Yoinker's wife and Ricky Kikiri. And of course, my co-commentator, James. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, very serious, somber race. Is really a blast. I can't wait for game 2 of this, and for it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to have a couple monitors going with this, and the race over on Speed Gaming 3. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be it for me tonight. You got more work to do though, so let you saddle up and head on over. And everyone wants to stick around here. It's gonna be another exciting race, so it's gonna be a lot of fun tonight and tomorrow too on the Speed Gaming channels with the links to the past Randomizer League.
Yep. I wanted to mention one more thing over on SpeedGaming 1. All this weekend, we're having the Win Solski's Money SMZ3 Invitational Tournament, and that's been going strong over on that channel for a while. So if you're interested in seeing the crossover rando with this game and Super Metroid, that's also happening over there. So plenty of randomizer action on all the channels. You can just watch all three. I can focus on three things at once, right? Anyway, thanks everybody. I have been Dr. Robtastic, and I will see you all at a later occasion. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Hey, everybody. You ready for some hot rando action? We've got week 1 of co-op info share all dungeons between they vetoed our acronym. I'm not going to give you the acronym we vetoed. And the forfeiters are us. This is game 2. They vetoed our acronym to game 1. I am Fear Agent, and joining me today is Claire Mouse. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Fear. This is it's going to be another really great match. Some really awesome runners. Really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. You see that Ack is a big fan of this mode and the fact that there's no cross keys this season. In fact, Reci and Humbugh as well. All happy that there's no cross keys.
Kohrek seems to be the odd man out here. It's just smiling.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. So yeah, there's no cross keys this season. Things will change in season 4. We'll see what happens. But
things will change in season 4, as in every week's gonna be cross keys.
Yeah, we'll just turn the league into a cross keys tournament. That's basically what we'll do to make these guys happy. You know, I love cross keys too, but that's not what we're playing today. We're playing open all dungeons. So, do you want to explain what open all dungeons means?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. For those of you kind of just someone new to the rando scene or just not familiar with all the modes, open mode means that we can start either at Sanctuary or Link's house, as we see our runners here. And all dungeons means that we have to complete every single dungeon this game has to offer. That includes the 7 crystals, that includes the 3 pendant dungeons, that includes Aga 1 and Aga 2, and before you beat Ganon. Yeah,
so these guys are in a Discord chat with each other talking about what they're doing. So that's why you see them all splitting up. We got that nice mirror in Sanctuary already put to use.
Yeah, and another feature that's enabled here for League is the quick swap ability. That instead of having a menu, you can actually just hit the L and R buttons. Big fan of Ack's a big fan of this, and you can just swap to the item that you want. And it's really nice, especially for cross keys or entrance runners. You just quick swap to the mirror, and you're right out of sync.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, certainly a lot of action. Looks like it's going on. I think I probably missed the first couple, but just kind of looking at these screens so far, Kakariko is certainly a very popular priest to hit. What usually happens in co-op is that you hope that you send your partner over to areas where you don't typically try and visit in order just to cover more ground. So you certainly see that Ack is here in the Lost Woods, trying to maybe get some progression, whereas Kohrek is taking the south route to Kakariko.
Yeah, and I think we saw Humbugh do Houlihan and get that early money so he can go pick up some bombs, and he's going to take those to do the South Shore. So lots of checks right at the start, so it's going to come fast and furious.
Unlike Too Pro, Too Furious, right?
That's correct. All right, so we got a boomerang and chicken hut. I think we just saw 3 bombs in the dam. First real big check is going to be from Ack with the blind sight here. We've got 5 checks available, but he doesn't have a bomb.
It's certainly not unreasonable to hope that he can find some bombs here. And in addition to this being co-op, unfortunately no bombs for him.
Yeah.
It's like if you have to come up down here later to get that bombable wall, it's probably not going to be the end of the world because you have a partner.
Yep, totally. Yeah, Kohrek can come and clean up afterwards. So nothing of note in the in blind sight.
Yeah.
So last big check here is the well. So let's see if we can get anything. Shield's not what we're looking for. Glove's not bad.
101 rupees, exactly enough to pay off the bottle vendor. I would not be surprised though if Ack chooses to go spend 50 of them to buy some bombs.
Yeah, it walks right past. Yeah, right past the vendor.
Actually, we see on Resi's side the fact that he actually has bombs. He can get the bombable chest here in the well. Actually, it turns up being 3 bombs. So I guess you need to, have bombs to get bombs.
Of course. But a relatively empty Kakariko with only that glove. We'll see. I think Kohrek checked the back of the well and didn't see anything back there. Or excuse me, the back of Blindside and didn't see anything of note there.
Yeah, this is also kind of an advantage of, just being co-op. When you're sharing the information, Ack now knows he doesn't have to go back there.
Yeah, that is nice. So Humbug in our first look at Mini Moldworm Cave here.
He does only have 3 bombs now, so hoping that these Moldworms cooperate is never really that pleasant to do this on bombs.
Yeah, he's only got 2 shots left too. I think he's got it. Yeah,
all right,
good to go.
That's good. Yeah. Oh,
there was a flute.
Yeah, I think we just
apparently
missed
the
that.
flute was on the back of Blindside. That's actually a little unfortunate for Ack, as we see the cape and a sword, which really feels like it's going to point you right to, since we have that lamp, so we got that lamp somewhere, I'm not sure where exactly, to Aga, which of course is not the biggest deal because this is all dungeons and you have to do Aga anyways, but did we just find mitts as well?
Yeah, I think I must have missed the mitts. But yeah, according to 3 friends here in chat, the mitts were found in South Australia. I think, and we found the glove in the well. So we have at least early Dark World access. We can't do anything without the pearl though, but I'm sure it'll turn up sooner rather than later. The game loves forcing runners into Dark World with only like 4 or 5 hearts.
Oh, okay, so there was the flute. It was sitting there with the bottle vendor.
Yeah, as you kind of mentioned here, though, finding the cape, finding the sword, finding that lamp, doing Aga Tower on 4 hearts and that equipment really isn't that much fun either.
Yeah, that's true. With the mitts, though, that kind of changes things a bit. Because now you've got the mountain, you've got Hera that's completable, you got the mire area with those mitts. We still haven't seen Eastern, so there's a good chance that Aga is not required, which again, it's technically fully required, but you want to save it to the end unless you really have to.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of, I'd also just as you said, the mire area, Checkerboard Cave is actually completely in logic.
Right.
That's certainly somewhere you want to go, where there's a murdered Actos kind of waiting there for you.
Right. All right, so those the gloves in the back of Saha, and I imagine with flute in hand, Kohrek is going to make his way over to that mire area and check checkerboard, because that seems to happen more often than not when you get this sort of loadout that the seed puts the moon pearl there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fact that he has a flute now, he can also kind of access the desert area because he has the mirror and he can just mirror right over.
Right. Yeah.
Never a super pleasant, in my opinion, to kind of traverse desert without those boots. But hey, if progression's here, you're gonna want to visit here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the sea doesn't care about your speed at all. So we need ether for Meyer there.
Kohrek's doing some adaptive maneuvering techniques here to avoid getting killed. Well, he does have blue mail, so I think he survived 1 hit, but still. In terms of resources, though, it seems that we're kind of starved. We haven't really seen that much, that many great bombs. Oh, we do have a sword, which is nice.
Yeah, the sword is nice. I don't think Kohrek's picked it up yet. All right, are we boots locked? We are not boots locked, but that's the
Oh.
king of Samaria. So
Yeah, we definitely want to get those boots sooner. I mean, we always want to get those boots sooner rather than later. But the fact that we have knowledge now that the King of Samaria is up in desert, really nice for us, especially when we have to go visit
Yeah.
Fire.
So they're gonna be able to check and hopefully find out what the last item here in desert is. It could be on land mollusk, which they wouldn't be able to check. But this shows you the how nice co-op is, because Kohrek is down doing the Mire Desert area while Ack is up doing the mountain, able to split these checks and figure out what it is that we actually need to do. Makes it really nice.
Yeah, certainly. Probably Secede also being probably slightly a bit more accommodating as well. In that because they have so much, I guess, like opportunity to explore the different areas. This is really nice for a co-op because you can, as you said, just paralyze the work, right? And if you end up having a more linear scene, you kind of have to even, however much divergence you can have at the beginning, you can still kind of have to get funneled in, to basically, let's say like defeating Aga for Dark World access.
Yeah, so Kohrek got the second item out of... Oh, there's a Master Sword.
Wow.
Are we going to get a pearl on a pyramid today? Oh, the hook shot. Oh my gosh.
Oh, what
Never
a
mind.
find. Yeah. Yeah, so both these kind of divergent routes from our two teams here, Kohrek finding the hookshot in Checkerboard Caves, really a great find, lots of mobility. Humbugh doing Hyrule Castle, and I think he found the Master Sword in the Boomerang chest. Really nice find.
Yeah, I bet the forfeiters or us are really hoping that there's something important here in the basement, because coming to get that sword is kind of a pain in the butt, and it's just a map. I think there's something still in Dark Cross.
Yes, I believe that. What? Where was the key? I want to say the key was back there.
I think it was in the
Yeah.
in the.
All right, looks like Ack is here on, as you said, Death Mountain in Hera. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the hook shot, right? That Kohrek finds. So if he wants to kind of complete Hera, he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way without Hera pot.
Yeah, without the hook shot, he actually has to go get that big key. So he is doing it. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna wonder if Humbugh is gonna the book. If Humbugh is gonna just do Aga here, he's not. I'd actually be tempted to do Aga here, since it's like required to do anyways. Get that information. If the pearl is there, you kind of feel like
that would be quite the play, and quite the discovery too.
I mean, with the hook shot open now, it feels like that pearl is probably just going to be over on East Death Mountain.
We can actually see that Kohrek, visiting Mini Moldrum Cape, potentially for his Swordom Cape. He has a hook shot, so his life's a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. Do we know where the lamp is? Because
yeah, we saw, or at least I saw Ack pick it up in the sunken treasure area in the dam.
Oh, okay, that's why Kohrek doesn't have it. I don't think he's been there.
It's like I know I've seen this room before in Hera. It's just you just see it so less often these days with everyone doing Hera pot.
Right. All right, so Resty's actually going to be able to finish off Landmo, though. Again, there is no value other than getting that pendant, because we know where both items are. Oh, and Kohrek does have lamp there. Okay.
Ack did a really nice bomb jump there to get the big chest. Looks like it did actually have an item, so even if he did Hera pot, you probably still would have gotten back to get the big key to make sure that he is thorough and check out all of his items here in Hera.
He does get the pleasure of doing Moldorm with the fighter sword and no
pleasure.
So.
We're just gonna pretend that this is an NMG fight run that Ack is doing.
Yeah.
Pulling out the cape though, at least you know, being a bit more safe.
And there it is. There's that moon pearl.
Moon
You know
Pearl
what's interesting? It was the only thing of value in Paradox there.
All right.
Like, you know what's interesting is it still technically might be an Agaseed. Like, it depends on where the hammer or the flippers are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that hammer is surprisingly it can lead to surprising consequences, because normally when you think, oh, you know, I have the myths, I have the pearl, let's go, and then sometimes you could, if you don't have the hammer, rounding Dark World is surprisingly sometimes difficult.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Kohrek shared that information with Ack. He's going to go pick up his hookshot and make the same play.
Yeah, I think on Ack's side, yeah, I did see the heart piece in the big chest. I don't think I saw anything else.
Yeah, I think it was just another, like, a heart piece or something,
Okay.
non-consequential.
Okay. All right, so that if that's the case, then Hero Pup becomes even more valuable on Kohrek's side. You know, if he doesn't want the junk items, he can just go straight to the boss, basically.
We're not even 15 minutes in, and we're going to know which medallions we need. That's pretty crazy. I missed it. Was that Ether or Bombos?
Like Bombos from my perspective.
Okay. We got 5-6 at TR Skull Woods with the green pendant at Pod. Big shout out to our trackers today, Duodeca and Waterloo, who are keeping us on track, because 4 screens is hard to watch.
Yeah, 2 screens is hard enough to watch, let alone 4.
Right. Okay, so the only thing of any value is that mushroom. And that might not be anything either.
Yeah, Ack is also getting kind of bullied here on Death Mountain. He has half a heart left to his name, had to actually pull out the cape to make sure he survives.
Look, yeah, wow. Is he gonna make it through? Yeah, he's fine. We see that Ether medallion on the floating island there, so Kohrek can go pick that up as well. That being required for Misery Mire. There's a couple of hearts down here that I can pick up and do some refill with. All right, so we've got 2 checks here left on Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain as well. We've got Spiral Cave and we've got Spike Chest. And with that cape, they could do Spike Chest, but it feels like it's a bit out of the way.
I think they probably also want to find that hammer before they try Spike Chest.
That's correct. That is correct. You can't check that Spike Chest without the hammer.
But it's okay. You know, even on this kind of loadout, you probably don't want to check, as you said, Spike Cave. Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, I'm sure Kohrek here is really hoped he had the boots. But, you know, like you said, sometimes you gotta do what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, and the seed don't care. But he does get $20 out of it, so worth.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, speaking of which, you know, in terms of just resources, you know, being somewhat limited at the beginning of the seed, I don't think I saw either or any of the Forerunners Houlihan. So, you know, Zora is 100% logic. So I assume at some point people want to go farm up some money to go pay the fish.
Yeah, I think Humbugh actually did Houlihan. One of them, I think he Houlihaned, but...
Okay.
Oh, there's mushroom equals important today.
Yes. Really now makes you wonder where the money is going to come from.
Speaking of Zora, yeah. So that actually kills Aga as far as like logical progression to East Dark World, because you can just swim over there now. So that means Aga will be the last thing that these runners do.
Yeah, certainly really nice, especially in all dungeons. Very common routing, or at least the most desired routing, is that you finish GT with the mirror directly when you're on top of the pyramid. Go to Agate 1, get the heart refill, and then you can drop immediately down to Ganon.
So this is a play that I kind of always go back and forth in. It's like when you get access to the Dark World, do you check Skull Woods without a fire rod? And Kohrek says yes, because it's probably looking for the hammer, still looking for the hammer. And if Kohrek says yes, then it's probably the right answer.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I've also seen, I think the last race was Kyan Brame versus, the Lane and Airy. All of the runners, lead runners at least, also check Skull Woods without the fire rod. So. Alright, yeah, looks like Kohrek is just going to steal the key here, then mirror out, and they're going to check the front. Certainly hoping at this point that the items are going to be in the front, because then that means that the only reason why they would have to come back is for the pedestal. Speaking which, I think Humbugh is the only one of our runners, looks like, who actually checked Dark Cross and got that book. It'll actually be a bit more efficient for him to come to Skull Woods, because once he goes over there, he can actually just make a pet check.
He did check Ether Tablet, which was no value.
Alright, unfortunately I didn't see, I assumed there was nothing of note in the front of Skull Woods, because I don't see Kohrek having anything new on his map tracker.
Yeah, I missed that. So we're gonna look at the chess game, 10 arrows, and the heartbeats. And nothing on Bumper Ledge as well.
Yep, more walking in the overworld. Assume, because Ack is kind of in the village of Outcasts, he's going to go further south. Further, try to make things more efficient for their team, whereas Kohrek is going to take the north route. Certainly can make sense here, checking Graveyard Ledge, because this can be a pretty annoying out-of-the-way location, especially
for sure. Yeah. So, we've got Thieves Town. They could clear it without that hammer, though you potentially leave an item there. What's your feeling on whether or not Axe should dip into Thieves Town?
Man, at least it's Crystal Thieves Town. So I'm always a fan of checking front four. And because it's co-op, I'm actually more in favor of just clearing and finding as much information as you can. Because worst case scenario, there's something there, just, make Kohrek do it.
Yeah, for sure. We see the Ice Rod in Graveyard Ledge, so another terrible check that is paying off for, they vetoed our acronym there.
Speaking of, hey, we're going to farm some money right now. Ack is actually in the arrow game, not often seen here in normal scenes.
Yeah, you see a lot in inverted, but it's a pretty quick and efficient way to grab some quick money. So.
Yeah, and you actually see Ack actually doing a pretty straightforward setup. So basically, just wedge yourself as close as you can to the guy, and then I think you just shoot the arrow right when the little sheep guy that you want to hit hits the second curtain, and it'll basically hit for the next 5 cycles or something.
Yeah. Did you say sheep guy? That looks like a sheep to you?
Is it not a sheep? I mean, it's white and furry.
It looks more like a duck than a sheep. But
really?
I'd be interested to see what you think sheep look like. I mean, it's in the Dark World, so it could be anything, right?
Maybe that's just what I want it to be. Ack in this case has farmed up enough money, not quite for Zora, but he certainly has probably enough, certainly enough to do. Yeah.
Soon.
Maybe that was just Ack, galaxy rating his way over, because why farm the money from Arrow Game? We can just dig it up.
Yeah, and there's the fire rod in the front of Thieves Town, so I'm not sure how many items Kohrek got out of Skull Woods, but he can go finish it now if he'd like.
Yeah, and it's the second scene I think I've seen today that Fire Rod is in Thieves Town, and it happens actually to be well, it was inconvenient probably at first, to check Skull Woods. Now you know you have to go back with the fire rod, but at least you find the fire rod here in Thieves Town, so you can just walk straight up.
Yeah, especially with the Act doing all the other checks below Thieves Town. So. So, you turn in the Smith, you rescue him. They charge you $10 and they give you 20 back. Seems like a jip.
Good thing Ack picked up those 300 rubies from Dick Game, otherwise he may not have been able to afford him.
Right. You think for rescuing the Smith he would temper your sword for free, but whatever.
It's like, thank you for saving my life, but I'm still going to charge you.
Right, so I think that was our first sick kid check. Oh, also half magic in Thieves Town in the first chest. Nice quick spot, so all of our runners should be able to pick that up, no problem.
Yeah, really nice quality of life improvement. Resi, I guess he's finding out the hard way that there's a bunny beam under that pot. You can't actually hook to it. Because you can't hook the bunny beam. Looks like Kohrek's gonna kind of finish his way up in Thieves Town, still sort of hoping that the hammer's not gonna be required. Wow!
There you
All
go.
right. I think Ack wins out of our 4 runners, where he finds the boots in Cave 45.
Yeah, so
Kohrek can't wait to get out of Thieves Town at this point.
yeah, he's gonna run even faster. Or walk. He's gonna speed walk now. Oh, and there's a bow sitting there with Stumpy, so what are we looking for at this point? Hammer and bombos? Is that it? Is that all we need? Hammer and bombos? Because we know where Samaria is.
Yeah, and we can get into desert, so we don't actually need that book potentially. Or I mean, the book can still lead to things that we need, but yeah, in terms of what we actually need.
Oh, and
that is a really nice payout for Ack.
I gotta say, like the sword placement in this heat is pretty bad because who wants to do the purple chest, especially when there's no value on the Smiths? And the other sword that we saw was the boomerang chest of Escape, which had no value other than that sword. So some pretty bad sword locations.
Yeah, at least there's one more out there potentially for our runners to find. As you said, no one really wants to go all the way to the boomerang chest of Escape to get a sword, and no one really wants to go do purple chest.
Yeah. Hype Cave living up to its name with absolutely nothing. I mean, the money's kind of nice, but...
Yeah, at least we got to see Ack do the arrow game. Otherwise, if you visit Hype Cave first, we wouldn't have seen it.
It's true. It's true. So where is that dirty hammer going to be? At this point, it's nowhere convenient.
Well, you know what they say about hammers and pod.
Yeah. So the seed actually has been pretty nice. The fact that, again, we are Bombos and Hammer from Go Mode, and that makes GT completely empty as far as progression we need to clear the seed. So putting Hammer in somewhere like Swamp or Ice is the least that the seed could do.
Yeah, and the fact that, at least we saw that Kohrek picked up the Ice Rod in Graveyard Lich means that these guys are going to hunt for that.
So Kohrek is going to turn in that purple chest, and why not? Get the... Surprised he went back for the $20, but I guess he really wanted it. I just got a check from Catfish from Humbugh, but I didn't see what it was. At this point, there's nothing really of any import other than the hammer and the bombos, though, because we found everything else. The pyramid has just a heart piece.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bombos still could be, fairly elusive, but, certainly definitely not as elusive as that Ice Rod. Which, I'm really hoping the forfeiters RS just not. Oh no, it looks like humbugh, at least on his map tracker, has the ice rod lit up. So I look quite good. I'm glad that neither runner or neither team's gonna have to find those ice rods.
Yeah, it makes sense if you're gonna go do catfish to at least stop by and check out the graveyard ledge there. So Ack is gonna get the information about that third sword. We'll see. We'll see if Kohrek actually wants to grab that or not. Or if he can just kind of hold out in hopes to find a sword in a better spot.
Yeah, this is kind of much one of the, I guess, benefits, of doing checks that, potentially your partner or your co-op buddy doesn't want to go do. If you end up finding something, that's really nice and out of the way, and you don't consider that to be efficient, hey, at least you get a temper sword out of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel bad for humbugh because Resti's going to find the boots here in about, 30 seconds.
Oh,
and he's going to be in pod, and it's just, you're not, he's just going to sit there for a while.
yeah, and especially going back to K45, especially where from humbugh is right now, it's not going to be convenient.
Yeah. Okay, so Kohrek is going to pick up that tempered sword as well, so.
I guess in this case they wanted to prioritize probably more firepower. It's not often you can see runners kind of in the same area.
They only have one dungeon clear or 2 dungeons cleared between the two of them, so tempered sword still has a lot of value throughout the seed because there's still a lot to do.
Yeah, a tempered sword, especially tempered sword, especially for earlier dungeons, or to really any dungeon. I mean, the difference that tempered sword makes on boss fights and basically clearing rooms is humongous.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's your prediction? Where's this hammer? Where do you think the hammer is?
I mean, I think it's going to be in pod.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
I mean, so it's not in pod. My next access is going to be in ice. They had access to ice. I was also say pretty early too.
Yeah, I'm going to predict ice just because I feel like that's more rude. All right, so humbugh, our first runner into pod. Let's see if we can find that hammer here.
Yeah, I guess from the looks of it, the fact that he didn't pick up, or neither runner on their side had picked up a bow, I guess says to me that there was a small key in the first chest of pod, so it wasn't bow locked.
Oh, right. Yeah, humbugh doesn't have that bow. Oh, interesting. Meyer's completely open and completable as well now that we've got those boots. So I actually really like this play from Kohrek here.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another incentive to pick up that tempered sword if you're going into Meyer.
That is a very great point. Kohrek is certainly no stranger to NMG, having that map, so having the temper sword, and the fact that you can't block to get the Cadence Mario, makes Vitreous a much nicer fight.
Yeah, this is just a little bit of unfortunate routing for the forfeiters. Not humbugh being the one in pod without the bow.
Yeah, kind of right. As you said, if humbugh ends up having the bow, and the hammer happens to be in pod, humbugh could actually clear this one. In this case, he'll have to come back for sure. Or maybe the other bow will just be in here in pod.
Yeah, I've seen that before. We do get a shovel, so that's always fun.
Something you always want to see when you're in the middle of the beginning of the chain where I'm gonna clear desert, I'm gonna go clear mire, it's gonna be all this, and then hopefully you don't get a about it. And in this case, I have confidence in Kohrek that he won't forget about any of this, but the fact that the shuffle is kind of hidden behind the flute can I've definitely seen races lost because people forget that it exists.
Sure. Oh, the quake, which is completely unnecessary. I got a little excited over nothing.
We can definitely see what a difference the Fire Rod and Tempered Sword makes. On Kohrek's side, defeating Lanmo versus, I believe, Resi did it with the Fighter Sword.
Yeah, it is super fast that way. Is this our first look at King's Tomb? I think it might be $20.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so if the hammer isn't pod, it's bow locked because everything else was checked. So it's not there. We see Recitador actually head into Mire as well. So we've got both teams checking that out. I'm curious to see where Ack goes from here. I'd be actually kind of incentivized to go pick up that Samaria and head into Ice Palace.
Oh, that would actually be a really nice play. Yeah, considering, Ice is completely also in logic as well. Looks like Ack with that bow, though, is at least going to do Eastern. Because it's going to be fully crystal.
Oh, man. Nobody's touched Eastern, right? We have nobody's nobody's been in Eastern. It'd be hilarious if the hammer was just sitting here.
Actually, Humbugh was the one in pod earlier?
Yeah.
Or was that Leslie?
But he left because he wanted to go get the bow and the boots.
Oh, right, yeah. I was gonna say, he was right in the area, and he has the mirror. Why doesn't he just mirror do Eastern? But yeah, as you said, he really probably wants that bow before he touches Eastern.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like kind of cool here. We get almost a sync here on Kohrek and Resi's side. Doing a Mire basically screen for screen. Pretty worthless, pretty 1 rupee's worth of check here from the shovel. Meanwhile, Ack is making his way through. With that hook shot, he can skip a couple rooms. Also with the boots, he can dash much quicker.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw anything in the map chest.
No, the first chest I think was the big key, I believe. There's a bottle. And there's the big key for Mire. So that's the second item out of Eastern.
Alright, so even though we had some nice syncing on, Kohrek and Resi and Mire, looks like they're going to take a slightly different path. Both of them did pick up the big key, so I imagine that Kohrek is probably going to do just the right side checks and then most likely go straight to the boss.
That's what I imagine as well, yeah. Looks like Resi's doing the same thing. And there it is. All right. It'd be funny if just Hammer and Bombos were both in here and it's just go mode.
Oh. Yeah, it's kind of it would be a really nice surprise, right? Go to Vitreous, last item drops, happens to be Bombos, and it's oh, well, okay, sudden go mode at 30, whatever minutes.
And then it's literally 10 dungeons of just straight execution.
I certainly would not be surprised if, they still made some checks, that are kind of convenient along the way.
Sure.
Even though everyone does have, at least Kohrek and Ack have Temper Sword, so they're definitely not starving for firepower, but, if they find, silvers, it could be really good, save some.
You're not going out of your way for any of those checks, but you do have to find most big keys, so...
Yeah, and I'm also curious to know what their strategies would be. So one option, at least in co-op mode, is that you just basically have both runners do the same ones, and then, or one kind of leading the other, right? Because you can kind of scout out like where the big key or the key layouts are.
Right.
Or you just basically just have everyone kind of like go do their own, and then once you get there, it's like, hey, did you do this one? Where's the big key? Type of thing.
Yeah. So where is Bombos? Because they can go anywhere now. I mean, they can go swamp, they can go to ice. We've got Mire. We've seen all of Eastern. We've got a little bit of pod left. So swamp and ice obviously are the two big spots. It can't be Pyramid Fairy. We know that. And do we get... Oh, okay, so there's one more check in Mire. We'll see if Kohrek goes back for it or if he wants to make Ack do it.
How good of friends do you think Kohrek and Ack are? So Kohrek says, Ack, can you go to the cutscene chest? You think Ack's gonna say yes or no? Alright, looks like Kohrek is actually potentially not going to do the cutscene chest, at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one check, and you've got, like, so it's 6 items or something in ice, or in swamp. You've got 3 in ice. You've got, what else? We've got all the water checks haven't been done yet, so there's those. Ice honestly seems like the best spot for it, right? Bombos locked by Fire Rod. So many times you see Fire Rod locked by Bombos. So I'm gonna go the other way.
I guess I was maybe, a bit more surprised that Kohrek wants to do ice versus pod, because I think neither side has did pod, right? And there are more items in pod?
Yeah.
But, I'm sure in this case, Ack's going to be able to, finish up land mode pretty quickly, and then he's going to be able to get his hammer out of Mire, and whether it's Kohrek doing ice versus pod versus Ack doing it, it probably doesn't make that big of a difference.
I think they're hoping that it's an ice palace just because then you can kind of... Ice is pretty quick anyways with the icebreaker now, and if it's there, you can kind of just skip the rest of pod if you get an early big key.
Yeah, it's certainly a very, fair point. Looks like Kohrek is going to set up icebreaker. With half magic and Canis Mari, I don't really imagine him running out of magic. He at least has a lot more buffer. As I commentate curse him. I'm sorry, Kohrek. I'm gonna watch Ack screen now.
It would take a lot of misses for him to run out of half magic. There it is. All right, here we go. Let's get some new checks. We get the map. Exciting.
In ice. I always want to wish that there was just like a nice, ice key layout, such that they don't have to go to Ice Tea Room, or they just find all 3, items early, and it just never happens.
Yeah. All right, trying to figure out where we at. So it feels like, okay, so Forfeiters or Us have Desert, Thieves Town, Mire done from Resi, and Desert, Hera, and about almost done with Mire for Humbugh. So they are behind, but not by a lot. What's going to hurt them? Hurt them is getting those boots a little bit later, and then Humbugh's double dip of pod.
Yeah, but of course, because Bombos is pretty much still at large, this is going to be our Bombos rod, I guess, like to hunt for. It certainly could be a really great equalizer.
Yeah, maybe they should put Bombos on a rod.
I mean, you need a sword, right? Maybe they just need to have. Yeah. If you find Bombos, maybe you need a free sword out of it.
All right, so I think I don't know if I missed iced tea, so
Iced tea was 5 rupees. Not anything to
okay,
write
so I
home
think
about. Alright, looks like Ack has been relegated to do the cutscene chest for that last item.
nice.
Meanwhile, Kohrek is taking down Cold Stare. Looks like the puffs kind of got a little bit away from him, but he's got Temper Sword, he's got Fire Rod. Cold Stare is down in the time it took me to finish that sentence.
So the answer was not nice. Let's see if Kohrek chooses Swamp or Pod next. I think Pod probably seems a little bit better. It is the green pendant. You can do Pod and Eastern right after, I guess. And our second item in Meyer was the heart container.
Ack is just padding to his health here at this point. Alright, looks like we're gonna get a couple more checks here, given that humbugh or Resi is in pod, with the hammer and the bow. I think I did see another heart container in Dark Maze. Alright, so there's Quake. Not quite the medallion that we wanted.
Yeah. Alright, there's the hammer for Ack. And it looks like Kohrek is going to choose to do Swamp over Pod at this point.
That actually probably makes some sense in terms of efficiency, because Ack's already, cleared Eastern. He can just go back and clear Pod and hopefully find things. But if Kohrek ends up going to that area, he's going to want to also clear Eastern. And if there's still items out at large, and Eastern didn't have anything, I think Kohrek probably just wants to, prioritize trying to find an item versus, clearing a dungeon.
Did Humbug check the vanilla big key chest in Meyer, or is he going to go back now and do it?
I did not notice if he ended up seeing that.
Yeah, our tracker telling us that he didn't do it, and he is leaving it. So that's actually a little bit of a time save for that team.
Yeah, it's certainly possible that Rusty and Humbug potentially think that they need to, potentially they probably can't be as thorough as they want to be. Potentially if they want to take on and try and get a win against Kohrek and Ack.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess I'd be curious to see here, if Kohrek's gonna decide to end up doing left side swamp.
Yeah. I feel like you probably just go straight to the back. But if you want to play it safe, you do left side first.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of efficiency, right? I guess I don't really know what I personally would do. Just because if there's only one item outstanding, if you're doing a solo seed, doing left side swamp, initially when you're only missing one item from go mode, it's probably not going to be worth your time. But you have a buddy, right? And co-op is going to be potentially different, and especially against if Kohrek wants to play against more of his opponents, it's probably to his advantage to be more thorough.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like he is going to give it a look here at version of Diver Down here as he makes an attempt for a left side first time through.
All right, so it doesn't look like we got anything out of Pod from Recitador there. He is going back in. No. Just forgot to mirror. So Bombos is not there. So we're coming down to the wire here. It's got to show up soon. I think the worst spot would probably be at this point Spike Cave.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me that cave still exists.
Alright, so I think the first check was a map. The second chest is a compass on the left side. And just a heart piece. So left side is not required today.
Yeah, I'm sure Kohrek is feeling great about seeing that. Although the fact that an item was there means that his time was not wasted. Doesn't matter how bad the item was. Because,
Yeah, it's wasted if it's not wasted if the other team skips it though. Like it is a waste of time if their team ends up skipping it. We'll see. What would be really bad is he didn't do this check first, and if it's here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, unlikely for sure, but possible. Oh my god!
Were you saying something about likely versus unlikely? I think you just said likely. I got it. All right, so with that, yeah. So with that, Bombo's discovery and the south side of the swamp, Kohrek and Ack are and whatever their official go mode, no mode, whatever it is.
Yeah, I can't wait to ask him about that one.
Kohrek, chances are, probably was thinking exactly what yours. Like, oh, what are the chances it's going to be the south side of the swamp? I'm probably going to have to do left side anyway. Yeah, certainly worth the ask. Yeah, looks like honestly Kohrek, the fact that he still does a temporary, probably not give up on these, more convenient checks. If their silvers are here, definitely free time save.
Oh man, I'm just a little blown away by that. That's pretty fun. So now I'm not sure the big key layout, but if it's early, they vetoed our acronym gets to completely skip it. So that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's actually something that probably is underrated. Is kind of like knowing the key placement of pod. If you know, and so this I think is kind of like more highlighted in spoiler log. So if you know pod key placements pretty well, it can definitely be a time save for you. All right, speaking of potentially a Spike Cave chest, maybe humbugh is back on Death Mountain.
Did they not check what Thieves or what Turtle Rock required? Because we did see Recitador kind of go out of his way to get that Quake medallion. It might be like are we in go mode sort of situation here?
So what is Forfeiters Artist like missing at this point? Is it just bombos?
Bombos, yeah. They just need bombos, so they need to go to swamp. So I'm inclined to believe that neither one of them, while up here earlier, did checked Turtle Rock, and that is in fact the case.
I certainly hope that was the case, that they didn't end up checking versus like a mismark, or they thought that they had the medallion versus not. And just because of the kind of like the fallout, because like he kind of mirrored out immediately.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know if they checked Spike Cave at this point, because that could have also been something else.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't check Spike Cave, but I feel like again, swamp is the densest item check that they have, because they've done pod, they've done Eastern. They've done Mire. You're down to ice or swamp at this point. So yeah,
especially if this is like your team's kind of like first foray into these like item dislocations. Doing swamp, even though you would like to go mode swamp, a very reasonable decision because you get the most coverage here.
Yeah, and it's pretty go modable swamp as long as you check the lower chest before you go outside. But
Well, so this is certainly very good news for Humbug and Resi, because like Humbug's here, checking the south side is probably more common than not before doing left side, so they're definitely going to find their third battalion.
I'll be very surprised to see Humbug do left side swamp here.
Alright, so I feel like Ack has been slashing at Mothula for like at least like 10 times or something before he actually died.
Stupid spikes, yeah. It's crazy that they programmed Moth to not take damage from the to
from
cancel
spikes.
damage from spikes.
So fun fact, in the Japanese 1.0 version, the original game, right, if you actually came there with Temper Sword, you couldn't actually kill Moth unless you dash Pokemon, basically.
Butter sword?
I meant Butter Sword, yeah. And the randomizer, this is actually something that the devs specifically patched, such that because you can't necessarily control what level sword you have by the time you get to Mothula, Butter Sword now just does Temper Sword damage.
Yeah. That'd be terrible. You get cursed with Butter Sword and just can't kill Moth without poking it. Alright, so Humbug does the normal routing and checks the lower chest here first, and we'll just about hit go mode or no mode for that team. So they are behind, but not by a mile. There's chance, to make up some time here.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, like as you said, how many dungeons have we cleared on, every runner's side? Like, not even half, right?
Yeah.
There is a lot of game to be played.
Yeah, we've sort of left Rando and now sort of hit NMG, where it's like you have everything that you need, just go. The unfortunate thing for Humbug is his tempered sword is in that purple chest, and I don't think, at this point you can't do that. It's just such a huge time loss.
Yeah, and this is something that, is risk versus reward, right? Humbug is more than capable of clearing the rest of the game with his current
yeah, for sure.
fire load. Yeah, but, like, purple chest is also, as you said, pretty big time commitment. And if you're in go mode, maybe the goal in this case is you can make up, maybe like you can make enough time, basically.
Yeah. Hoping to find a sword along the way. So it looks like the last sword is probably either in GT or Turtle Rock.
We can only speculate. Certainly, though, once we get to GT, they still have to find the GT big key. So, on their path, they can certainly still find some nice upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see here on Humbug's side, still the difference between what a Temper Sword Argus fight and a Master Sword Argus Phase 1 fight is. Argus in Phase 2 just kind of got away from him. Or the Fire Rod shots didn't quite, register.
Yeah, it looked like he hit with 4, but it just maybe was too fast.
This is also a really nice seed, just in terms of the fact that they can do this in co-op, right? I think we mentioned earlier that seeds that give you a lot of opportunity for exploration and basically lets you parallelize exploration is really nice for co-op seeds, right? This seed never really had to bottleneck any of them. They could just literally make progress.
Yeah, they were never really in the same spot at the same time. They crossed paths a couple times, but usually going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, runner high fives. Yeah, I think we did see some syncing between Kohrek and Resi, but they're on opposite teams, so it doesn't count.
Yeah. So Kohrek's actually in a really good spot here because he's about to finish up Eastern. Skull Woods is going to be a blip because he just has to rush to the back. And Hera with Harapot is super fast as well. So the longest dungeon that he's got left is Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, and so it seems certainly very likely that he will most likely be our first runner out of the 4 to hit Turtle Rock first. So as long as he gets there before I act, he can do all the scouting he needs.
Right. Yeah. So Recitador, on the other hand, he's actually in a pretty good spot as well, because as soon as he finishes up this Swamp Palace, all he'll have left before Turtle Rock is Ice Palace. And since Ice Palace is empty, and I imagine he knows, Diver Down, I'll be really quick. He also has Hera, but we'll do that right at the end. So he's not too far behind. Humbugh has some time to make up here. He still has to go back, finish up Pod, and then finish up Eastern. Did I say Diver Down? I meant Icebreaker, excuse me.
Don't worry, Fear. Don't let chat bully you.
It's hard when you're looking at Swamp Palace, where that's what you go down, talking about Ice Palace, thinking about Icebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I was also going to say, to your point, this is also kind of another advantage of doing co-op, right? So Ack, I think, did Hera super early. Ended up, sitting through Toggle Room, getting the big key, seeing what the item is. But at least in this case, we know, when Kohrek ends up going back there, like, he doesn't have to do anything, right? He literally just go to the boss. And just like for Ice Palace, too. Ack hasn't touched ice. Kohrek ended up touching ice in full clearing it, found totally nothing. And, Icebreaker, without even finding, where the key is, even faster.
See what you did, GFE? Yeah. Dang it. Yeah, the good thing for forfeiters or us, though, knowing that they are in go mode, that they both can just, go through Ice Palace without having to do any checks is nice.
Yeah, Kohrek. Seemingly taking significantly fewer swipes at Mothula, so perhaps he behaved a bit more, claiming his next crystal. Yeah, so before he ends up going... Oh, no, I think that's it, right? Kohrek just needs to go up the mountain.
Yeah, he's all his dungeons left are up on the mountain. That Skullwoods was so fast.
Just kind of also testament to how good, skilled runner Kohrek and Ack, and all these guys are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're going to hear this a lot. We're just getting started with the Invitational, but the Invitational is full of excellent runners, and even then, there's teams like David or Acronym who went 14-0 last season in the regular season.
Yeah, they beat Kohrek.
And the best of the best. So it's tough. This is a tough matchup.
Kohrek's going to have some also really nice riding. I think you mentioned this before. He's going to be able to, scout out Turtle Rock, tell Ack basically what the key layout is, potentially, hopefully, at least one of them can skip Laser Bridge. And then after he finishes Turtle Rock, he's going to go over to GT, mirror to Hera, clear out GT, go do Aga 1, and then drop down kill Ganon.
Gonna be fast. Yeah, let's see how nice the Turtle Rock plays. What you're hoping for in the first 3 checks is 2 small keys and a big key. And then if you could also be blessed with another small key from the Chomp's room, it's like the God TR, where you just get to skip everything else. But
all right, we're checking the first, I think it's the map chest. All right, so we got a small key. That's always good to see. Oh, Meanwhile, on Resi's side, it looks like we're going to take a slightly more traditionally broken Ice Palace, giving us a nice throwback for the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Yeah, you don't see this too often anymore.
Yeah, kind of ever since Icebreaker was discovered, people basically just refuse to come into Ice Palace unless they have the cane. And then, of course, you find the cane in Ice Palace itself. So, like, it's really not, useless tech at this point, but it's just kind of lesser seen tech. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ack here, activated Spooky for this first room here with the flute is going to join Resi in Ice Palace. Similarly with Humbug, everyone is going to be an Ice Palace party. I guess the only one that is a trendsetter here is Kohrek, who ended up doing Ice Palace before it was popular.
Chain Chomps do not want to let it fly.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 keys and the big key is nice because now you get to steal the small key from the pokey here and potentially skip the big chest.
Resi being first of our other runners here, dropping out of cool stair. He does have to be a little bit careful. He does have friend mail, which is fine, but oh man, that was a super close puff there.
Close, yeah.
Alright, with that Ice Palace clear, Resi looks like he is also able to kind of leave the rest of Hyrule and climb up that mountain to tackle Turtle Rock.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with the Icebreaker.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people try and do this basically bufferless, and bufferless is surprisingly difficult. Or maybe not surprisingly, but it's definitely more difficult than if you do pause buffers. But of course, everyone wants to save time, right? So then no one wants to do pause buffers.
Sure.
Alright, Kohrek, checking what this crystal roller room, hopefully for some silvers. Unfortunately, just get some more money out of it. Meanwhile, as I was looking at Kohrek's screen for like 5 seconds, Ack has taken down Cool Stair and he is ready to join his co-op buddy up the mountain.
Yeah, I'm not sure if our tracker is just like acting up, not the actual person tracking, but the tracker. But it looks like Humbug has Eastern and Skull Wood still left to do. If that's true, then they are pretty far behind.
Dead Rocks, not giving Ack any easier time. This is his next trip over than from before. And it looks like actually from Kohrek's side, the small he couldn't skip Laser Bridge. Small key ended up being in the last of the 4 checks that he was given to.
Yeah, I was curious because it could have been the last key that he needed was in the big chest, and then he'd have to go back, which doesn't happen often, but it can happen.
It's just like how what are the odds of you finding bombos in the south side of swamp before you do left side, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Alright, with looks like Temper Sword, of course, the first farmers take on Trinex. Looks like wants to backdoor strats, but he can't get 1 cycle anyway. Unfortunately, this Ice Head is just kind of getting away, or didn't register Fire Rod hits or whatever, but Trinex is going to be Trinex.
Yeah, not a problem with Half Magic and Tempered Sword. Just throw as many shots as you want. One of them's going to hit.
Yeah. I would say the only kind of unfortunate part is it depends on how much ice gets on the floor, because the more
Yeah.
ice for some reason, you just get lag, and no one wants lag in our games.
Okay, so Humbug has done Eastern. He just has Skullwoods here, so he's not as far behind as I thought he was. So it's still got a race here.
Oh yeah,
They definitely has the upper hand, but you know things can happen. That is our 7th crystal. We have one more pendant.
I'm sorry, what was that?
We have that was our last crystal for Kohrek there. He's gonna make his way to GT, though he's gonna make a pit stop and stop into Hera. So he's gonna give people a chance to guess where they think the GT big key is. There's 22 different locations where that key could be, and with Kohrek being the first one to jump in there, we will be following him. Like I said, he does have to finish Hera first, so won't take long. About a minute, I think, is what the time is if you get Hera bot the first try.
Yeah, he has hooks. He has hook shot. He has boots. You know, I think he's pretty familiar with hook speed here. As I say this, I'm gonna look at X-Tree now. All right, looks like on Forfeiter Oz's side, Humbug is just basically gonna drop down Moth here and make this a really fast fight. Unfortunately, Humbug is still on Master Sword, so he's gonna probably take advantage of using the Fire Rod here as opposed to you know using Temper Sword slashes.
Yeah.
I guess the hope for Humbug is that he can find a sword, either somewhere like in GT that's pretty convenient, because honestly, like Master Sword Ganon is really not all that much fun.
Not only that, Master Sword silverless, because we still have silvers. So
that's right. We have still not found silvers on any of our runner side. But I guess for what it's worth, I don't think they've like the game hasn't really been like full cleared, right? I mean, these runs have covered like a lot of tracks, but there's also stuff that they've definitely
full
missed.
cleared. I don't know if there's much that they've missed, to be honest. All right, they're in. We're gonna stop the big key guessing game now. All right.
Correct.
Starting left, doesn't get a small key in the first two chests, so he has to go left.
Slightly different deviation, I think, than Kohrek's normal GT route, but this is certainly a very common route. You go check Hope Room, and if there's a small key in Hope Room, you can keep going full right. Otherwise, mirror out and go full left.
Does he normally do DM strats?
He does point route, yeah.
Which is a little surprising that he didn't do it here, just because it guarantees you, you know, the ability to go all the way to Compass Room. I feel like in co-op, I see a lot more people doing that.
Well, maybe in this case, you know, if he ends up finding GT Big Key early, you know, we could just say that he Galaxy Brain this one.
Yeah. All right, so 7, 8, I think it's 4, 7, 8. That was number 8. Still no big key.
Really nice NMG strats there, coupled with the fact that he basically quick swapped a hook shot, really nicely executed.
Yep.
We're gonna get some pretty side-by-side Trinex fights here on on Resi and Axe side. It'll be pretty cool. Yeah. Meanwhile, Humbug is certainly not far behind whatsoever. He just needs to, you know, he's towards the beginning of Turtle Rock, but he should be able to get a Trinex relatively soon. All right, I'm pretty sure that ice hit is supposed to hit. I don't know actually what happened in terms of registering on the head. A little unfortunate.
Okay, so there it is in the random room, which was number what? That's number 10, I believe.
Was that the first chest?
Yeah, first check.
Okay, yeah, then that would be 10.
All right, at the Heart of Winter, you won 16 internet points. Enjoy them. Congratulations. All right, so, I mean, not to say that it hasn't been exciting, but now we literally get to watch NMG strats because you got Tempered Sword, no silvers. I guess half magic throws a wrench in the NMG strats, but we're just going to see straight execution from Kohrek here as he climbs GT and makes his way up to fight Aga 2. He will have to do Aga 1 as well, since this is all dungeons, but
Yeah, but the fact that he has Temper Sword for Aga Tower should go a lot faster. Normally NMG only has you for Master Sword, and it's actually quite surprising the amount of.
no, NMG you have Tempered Sword.
For Aga 1.
Oh, Aga 1. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just one step ahead of you there.
Yep.
I don't remember what Kohrek has in his 2 bottles, but he needs to be slightly careful here.
He did pick up powder, so he could powder this anti-fairy here in a second if he wants. He does have a blue potion, though.
Okay, so he has to be alive to use that blue potion, right? Alright, gets through at least that gauntlet relatively unscathed. Quick swaps to powder, always really cool to see.
Yeah, the problem with powdering is it changes the timing for lane models too. But Kohrek adapts and able to 2-cycle it, not bad.
Quick swapping there. So he came to Samaria, probably one of the most satisfying rooms, in the game, basically. It's actually like really elegant, how those shots. This is probably the other one.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Alright, Ack, looks like he remembered, or at least Kohrek, told him that there was another small key, which I didn't realize, or I didn't see when Kohrek ended up picking up. But that's really nice, just because he doesn't have to kill the mini Helmasaur in this, next room here.
Yeah, the Helma room. Yep. So it looks like he's going to look for silvers while he's here. And there they are. GG's, Kohrek.
Oh, wow. That is a really nice find, Kohrek. I am also really glad to see that, he still has 15 arrows to his name. Sometimes, when you, end up climbing GT and you're like, oh, okay, I don't have silvers, you kind of, forget about or be more liberal with your arrows, and suddenly you find silvers and you're like, oh, wait, I want to use them, and then you only have 2 left or something.
Yeah, the fortunate thing is they do have to do the Aga climb next, and there's a bunch of arrows in there, or at least some arrows that you can get.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's probably was part of the NMG route.
But yeah, it happens a lot where you are, miscounting or not paying attention to how many arrows you have. All right, so Aga 2, only 1 shot there, but able to follow it up with a nice triple.
Oh no, Kohrek! I think he slashed and it hit Aga 2's body, and I think just messed up all the timings.
It sure did. He was just too close.
So we're gonna just pretend that cycle didn't exist. Kohrek, down with Aga 2. Certainly, what you want to see in all dungeons scene, you beat Aga 2 before you beat Aga 1. Alright, meanwhile, Ack looks like he's gonna burn one of his only one blue potion, just to make sure that he doesn't die here at the top of GT.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, at this point, he knows that silvers are at the top. He's got Tempered Sword. He's got 12 hearts and blue mail, so, I don't think he's worried about spending that on Ganon or anything. So make sure you're alive to get to Ganon as well at this point.
Yeah, and certainly, to your point, what probably the worst thing that can happen now to these runners after they've kind of gotten all their items with progression is that they just die. Like, that is just time that you can't make up.
Right.
Or that you can't get back, sorry. Got some, I think this is Team Forfeiters RS first time into GT. Did Resi end up skipping Stealthless?
No, I think he went to Sophos. To be honest, I'm not sure because I wasn't paying attention. But he's got a bunch of keys, so.
Oh, okay. So maybe he just took a different route in this case. Like he didn't do Southwestern first, and then he now is back on the left side.
Yeah, from what it looks like he might have done Hope Room. Maybe he did Compass. I'm not sure.
Trying to get the most content out of his game for those push blocks, and then now just one room away, basically, he's gonna take on Aga 2. You know, we did see the different patterns on. We did see the patterns that we had on Aga 2 for Kohrek. Between all 4 of these runners are going to be actually the same.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Aga can do a little bit better.
That's a little bit of a rough pattern. So he only got in there as well. Let's see if he can get the triple like Kohrek did. Nope.
Alright, I'm gonna start looking at Resi's.
Nope.
Oh no, Act! That is pretty unfortunate. Alright, so at least that was a double. There's probably 2 more hits, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
And
that was a really unfortunate displacement.
he's gonna be really happy with this Aga 2 fight, I can tell.
At least he's comforted in the fact that however bad his Aga 2 fight is, it probably won't end up mattering.
Yes, that's true. All right, so we are at Aga 1. Speaking of Aga 2, we're now at Aga 1 on Kohrek's side. So just got to sleepwalk your way through this one, and then we get to fight Cannon.
I didn't even pay attention to how many blue balls there were.
I think I've seen 1.
Alright, Resi here, trying to make his way up to GT Gauntlet. I'm really glad that he ended up having Red Mail. I thought the bomb actually hit him on the ricochet.
No, oh, did it? Oh man.
I don't know. Like, he was really close. So I mean, and he was only down to 1 heart. So I mean, I'm really glad. Whatever happened, he's still alive. Somewhat even less or more unpleasant, I guess, if it's like, oh, okay, like I'm low on health, let me go to the safety room, and then you try and die before you can get there.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. All right, again in time for Kohrek here.
Temper Sword, and I think he just ended up taking a slight isolated hit there.
Yeah, misses the 1 cycle on the first phase, but is in the best spot for phase 2 when you miss it, where you're just gonna do 3 quick spins and you're done.
Okay, that was a really ninja dodge there from the fire bat.
Yeah, I thought it was actually gonna take a couple more to the face, but. All right, 1 more slash here on phase 3. Once again, it stops the warps. Stop them. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can set up the triple here. Not quite gonna be able to get a single here, and maybe you'll get a double here. Nope, just going for the 1. Oh, nice quick slash to get it before the lights actually went. And that's it for Kohrek of They Vetoed Our Acronym. Get your GGs in chat. So he gets ready to cross that bridge. And he is our first runner with the official time of 1:22:11.
Certainly GG's to Kohrek. He ran a very, very excellent seed here. I'm sure Ack helped him some.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, 1:22 is such a good time when you consider it all dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
He did everything, though the seed was pretty generous.
Yeah, meanwhile, let's see. Ack is just finishing up his Aga 1 fight. Looks like he's actually having a much nicer time with Aga 1 than Aga 2. And then after this, with his full heart refill, he's going to be able to drop down again. And meanwhile, on Resi and Humbug side, they're both making their way across TT. So they're almost to Aga 2, looks like, at least for Resi. Humbug is very shortly following, and then, oh man, it's getting bullied here by these guards. But then I think all they need to do then is exactly what Ack and Kohrek did, is climb Aga Tower and beat Aga 1 and then drop down again. And
there is something that's a little unfortunate for the forfeiters. I mean, they lost this one, but they are going to have to do this without silvers because Resi didn't check for silvers at the top there.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was even thinking, like, Humbug at least will have silvers when he goes and fights Ganon, but...
Yeah, I think Humbug will probably check it. I could be wrong. And I am wrong. He didn't.
Probably at this point, he probably just wants to be, done with the seed. He's like, what are the chances the silvers are here? Right?
That's true. That's right, just like the Bombos.
Oh man, he's really getting bullied here a lot. He's not gonna die, right? Cal.
That's Aga 2 for Recitador. Ack on phase 3 of Ganon. Just have to put up with these warps for a little bit longer. There's the last slash. Oh no.
Oh, Ack! Oh no!
All right, so I thought we were going to wait because he was on Ganon, but he fell. We are joined now by Kohrek of They Vetoed Our Acronym. GG's, dude.
GG's, Kohrek.
GG. That was a nice fall there by Ack.
It was. So, you're good, you're great, you're a really good runner, and we all know that stuff. Explain your Swamp Palace routing for us just a little bit.
Well, it's the fastest route to get all the chests, and I was just sick of skipping things, so I'm like, I'll just get all the chests. It's fine. The only way, like literally 5 seconds before I opened the Bombos chest, I said, the only way this sucks is if Bombos is right here. And I'm like, okay, Ack Bombos is here. So, I mean, it is what it is, whatever.
It was just funny because I agree. When you cleared it, I said, I mean, it made sense, except for the very unlikelihood of Bombos being here, and then Bombos happened to be there, so it was just pretty funny.
Yeah, no, like I'm just like, you know what, it's fine. We saved time, because I would have come back in, and it's fine. Yeah, whatever. But no. It is what it is.
It is what it is. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. And that is GG's for Acktheboker, who is going to cross the bridge here after his second Ganon fight.
Maybe he dropped down on purpose so he can change the war patterns.
Maybe. It did seem a little faster. And he finishes his second with a time of 1:26:17. That gives They Vetoed Our Acronym the win and 3 points. That's 2-0 to start the season. And we are now joined by Acktheboker, guy who likes Ganon so much he wanted to fight him twice. How's it going?
It's because I like my partner so much. I wanted to give him a little extra time in the limelight. GG's, Kohrek. You were the hard carrier this seat. Thank you.
GG, Zach.
Well, we got you both here. What do you guys? What are your thoughts on the seed? Seemed pretty friendly for the most part. I mean, you're a hammer bombos away from go mode with like 8 dungeons left to do.
Hammer kind of sucked in like money also. Really sucked early. And you didn't have like any weapons to buy bombs, but you also had a flute on the
Auto vendor,
bottle vendor. Yeah. I don't know. I mean the hammer was like just Monka S because it could have like literally been anywhere.
Yeah, and then the hammer did open up, 3 whole dungeons for us to check for the last item, so it's always a little bit scary,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna go to the wrong one twice in a row or whatever, but it was fine.
He did want to go to Swamp first too. We decided to talk ourselves out of it. We don't like to get the items that quick, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was also curious, like, because at that point, yeah, you had 3 dungeons open: Pod, Swamp, and Ice, and then Kohrek ended up going to Ice. So, what was the reasoning?
I don't know.
I wanted to show
still
off my
think
great
that, though.
icebreaker,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was first try. I didn't see anything else.
And then we also got to show off Diver Down too. Hope you guys enjoyed that one as well on Kohrek's side. Very few people will do that in the seed.
How about that Acktheboker fight, Ag?
I don't know. I think with both of my Agatus I had in these back-to-backs, we hit double digits on my cycles. So I was really upset I didn't get the 1-1-1-1-1-1 the first one. I got 4 1s and then a 2. I screwed it up and then I tried to do it again and then I started getting zeros and I was like, well, we gotta go to bed sometime tonight. So yeah, they weren't great. It's all right.
That puts you guys at 2-0. How you feeling about the start of the season? You still got lots of weeks of non-cross keys to go.
Well, I mean, that was the thing. We wanted to start off strong because heading into Cross Keys week, we knew that we needed a lead because anything can happen in Cross Keys. So this was definitely good for us. Is this the P-Flan League or the Fury? Which one am I in right now? No, this is the one without Cross Key. Okay, well then, yeah, I'm happy we're 2-0. That's all I have to say.
All right, we're on to there was the butter sword. We don't missed where that came from.
It was the right side GT.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how'd you get in here? What's up, Resi?
Hello.
We see Recitador fighting Ganon here, doing the spins, missed the silvers at the top of GT. We are actually joined Recitador and humbugh as they finish up their seeds here. GG's, guys.
Yeah, GG's.
GG. I was hoping they were in the top.
They were in the basement.
No, they were in the top.
Yeah, they're in the left side of the turtle room.
Of course.
So, like the most convenient spot to check while you're up there, maybe.
Awesome. I only checked the one in the switch room like out of habit. I didn't even mean to open that one. So that figures. I was hoping they were just like behind Ash Armos and there was just no reason to get to them.
Sure. All right, and that's Recitador crossing. I'll get you a time here. Get your GGs in chat for him. His finishes is with a 130.42, and humbugh on his way to defeating Ganon. Did get that tempered sword. His sword placement was kind of rude considering you had to do like boomerang chest, purple chest, and then I guess right side of GT as well.
Yeah, I just went for the boomerang chest because I figured I'd spend more time dying if I didn't have it. And so I think it saved me time in the long run.
So what was your guys' thoughts on the seed? It was, for the most part, we're talking with Eck and Kohrek about it a little bit. It was friendly for the most part, being, hammer bombos for go mode. But it looked like, I guess you guys neither one of you checked Turtle Rock when you were up there.
Yeah, the thing is about medallions is it helps to know which ones you need, and we may have forgotten to check both of those.
Yeah. You're curious to see you kind of go out of your way to pick up Quake, and then we saw humbugh make his way up to Turtle Rock. It looked like he was ready to like Basically, it looked like he was checking Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we were sort of taking our chances, and also he went to scout because we hadn't run into Bomba, so we're like, I guess we really need to know if we need to look for anything else.
Right. Could have been in go mode at that point, not even known it.
Yeah, and it seemed like less.
Yep.
It seemed like a better idea to grab Quake, just in case, even since we didn't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, get your G's in chat for Humbug as he gets ready to cross the bridge.
Dude, I like your file name, Resi. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I was inspired.
Finishes with
Both of us were. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen yours yet. I'm actually really excited. Have you seen it yet, Fear?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's hard to see them if you're, the sports screens. You might have missed it. I didn't know if you've seen it.
Yeah. Sure. Definitely saw it.
I'm glad that Kohrek is very positive among all of this.
Oh yeah, he's just got a smiley face.
Mhm.
Right, so forfeiters are us. Tough matchup week 1. Going 0-2, not the way you want to start, obviously. But how you feeling about the rest of the season? I'm not sure who you guys will play next week. It's open defeat games.
I feel scared. This is a hard division.
It's a hard division.
Yeah.
And next week we're gonna face Walter, and that's scary as well.
That sounds like a free win to me. Pretty much after this week, dude, I'm 100% rooting for you guys just to crush everybody for what it's worth.
I was happy we were pretty close. This week, like we were close in both of our matches, or fairly close anyway.
Especially in this one, it didn't feel like it felt pretty jet. If you would have checked if any one of us could have checked the TR medallion, but we were closer than we thought we would be.
You actually just had some like unfortunate events. Like Humbug, you were in pod as Recitador found Bo.
Yeah.
And dude, it's like, oh, this is just like, wrong place, wrong time sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also we had 2 very fortunate events where Recitador just told me where to flute just as I was about to flute somewhere else. So they evened out. I felt across the sea.
Yeah. I almost skipped Stumpy, so that was
How'd you get the pod before getting a bow?
Because when he went north and I went south, and
you just cut in half there. And okay.
I had the Smith chain and all that going on, so it took me a minute to get.
You probably did thieves first, and so he didn't.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And just as I was fluting to Village of Outcast, he told me where the flippers were, so I just went there first, and then I didn't even have to current jump; could just do it the normal way.
Yeah,
gotcha.
it seemed worth checking thieves in case something good was in the back, and if something was in the big chest, we could just wait for the hammer, and then he could tell me if I needed to go back in there.
Yeah, I didn't do thieves originally. Kohrek was the one that did that, but I went and did south, whereas he kind of did a little bit north, and like he went into thieves, and then I just did the overworld all the way around, but didn't go into pod.
Yeah, you won, Ack. You were the first one to find boots.
Yeah, yay!
Yeah, they were a little easier to find this time.
Yeah. This last one was silly. Sorry, it's weird doing the back-to-back. That's also really unfortunate you guys didn't check the medallions either, given how you kind of... you had to get the miss to get the hook shot to get over there, and then... Oops.
Yeah. Well...
Yeah.
To
It's
be fair,
unfortunate given that we are actually 2 people.
Yeah.
So either one of us would have done it,
You
but...
both had to do it. I guess that's true.
Yeah, as soon as I got the boots, though, I went back to get the cane, so I checked to make sure that we could get into Meyer, so that it's not like we left the hammer behind or anything for too long. But yeah, the Turtle Rock one was kind of like I don't remember how long it took us to realize we didn't actually check, but it
was pretty late. It was pretty late because I watched Humbug. We were watching Humbug go up to Turtle Rock, and we're like, maybe he doesn't know.
Well, we noticed before that, but we were trying to hold out and get all the pieces because we each had half the pieces that you would need to even get Turtle Rock done. So he had to go get the fire rod.
Yeah.
And I had to go get the ice rod, and I wanted to get that tempered before too, so he ended up finding out that it was almost before before that.
Getting the temper was the right play too. Kohrek did that before like we started going hard on dungeons. Like he went and got tempered before he even went into Mire. Because he figured
From purple chest.
I thought about it, but I had Cape and Master, so I was like, "I'll be alright."
Well, getting purple chest wasn't so bad. Like you just grab it real quick and then you go get your like boot and bow and do it. But he actually like took a detour just to go get the one out of the front of escape.
Yeah, that's the one I got.
At that point, though, there was so much left that it really would be a time save to have tempered.
Yeah. So
I got my tempered in Compass Ruby GT actually. I never got the one for purple chest.
Yeah, you skipped the purple chest. Okay.
Yeah. That might have been an oversight, but
Yeah,
Well,
there's
at
too many
least,
bosses.
yeah, at least for Kohrek, like I think back when you found the boots, he was already still in Thieves Town, and so it was, I think, even more convenient for him to once he finishes the dungeon, he can just
Yeah, that's
go
true
south.
too. Absolutely. Yeah.
True.
So, Kohrek, Ack, how you guys feeling about everything? Do you know who you're playing next week? I'm guessing.
I don't know who I'm playing, but I know that it's cross keys, so I'm looking really forward to it. It's like one of my favorite modes. It's easier to be good at something you're passionate about. So whoever we're playing, like, good luck to them, because I'm coming in ready. Kohrek, how do you feel about next week?
I'm pumped. I'm just finding this out now, but man, I'm ready to go.
And I have like one of the cross keys champions on my team, so
Yeah, it's true.
Good luck next week, team.
You are playing Did You Check Your Boot next week?
Okay. Did you check your boot? Was that one of the season 2 teams? I forget
Yeah.
all of the teams because I really only remember the ones that were specifically in our division from last season.
I think the only new one we have in our division is the Shack Tool, whatever their name is. I don't remember the whole thing.
Oh, those Super
yeah.
Metroid kids, huh?
Yeah.
Did You Check Your Boot is Werf Jig, Revenant, and Tam. So
Oh, okay, yeah, I know all those.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm probably out next week.
216.
I'm making Act play so I can play casual boots. He's finding
Yeah.
this out now.
Wait,
Yeah, I
All the
gotta
presses.
sit out next week too. It's just plain open. Like I can't deal with all that.
I thought we were muscling Jim out of casual boots just to get some
that'd be
team
funny.
drama going.
So 14-0 on the table still for you guys.
I mean, it doesn't matter win or lose as long as we get the frame interview at the end. That's really the only goal in sight. So
Well,
we may have to shed some blood to get there, but we're gonna try our dang
I'll
best.
let you know that Frame actually did an interview today.
Excuse me?
He
What?
said 2
Yeah.
words. That's right.
Was
He
it
did the interview.
G-A-N-G?
No, okay, so they said 3 words.
What did he say?
We asked him if he would be willing to do a frame commentary, and he said nope.
That sounds like one word.
that's one word. Yeah.
Yeah, so he said G and G earlier. And
Oh, he did say
at the
GG, nope.
end.
Okay, all right. Well, Kohrek, I got nothing to look forward to in my life now. So. Guess you and Jim are playing next week. P-Flan's going to be my sub, so GG.
Okay.
All right. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up from anybody?
Yeah, KWUWHWTPTSSWATFHTRHBTHD WTPAASH WA TWABAFIIWW. That's all I got.
Imagine if someone had to say that. Imagine that.
I really think you missed out the opportunity of letting Colin say
You
all
could-
that.
You could have just called those Qua. You know, it would have worked too. Whatever. GG's, dude. Thank you for the commentary tracking, man. Have a good night, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for putting up such a great race for us. It was a lot of fun to watch.
All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. I think there's some more races going on tonight. If not, we've got races tomorrow as well. I think there's stuff still trying to be figured out, but we've got lots of stuff. We got some more Komodo Hypers versus Air 216 tomorrow. We got some I Like Big Boots versus Triple Dino Disasters. So don't miss out. There might be something still going on Speed Gaming 3, so you can check it out there as well. Clear Mouse, it was a pleasure doing comms with you today.
Absolutely a blast, Pierre. Should do it again sometime soon.
For sure. Again, big shout out to our trackers again. We had Duo and Waterloo doing our tracking. Yeah, make sure you're following all the Speed Gaming channels as well as the league channels for the open coverage. And I think that's going to do it from us for here tonight. We'll see you all later.
Yeah, have a great night.